Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm hoping that everything is working properly. I think it is, although I'm not centered correctly, and that's going to bother me. Check this out. I'm probably going to talk about this again in a little while, but there's something I've been working on for a while now. I call it Book Forge, and it's basically where I take like books, like EPUBs or whatever, just regular books, and I can send them through text to speech. That's a feature that I've been talking about for a while because I've been working on this for like ever. But I added a new feature. It's a language learning feature, okay? I couldn't possibly make this available to the public if I wanted to. It's too complex. It relies on open source software. Installing it would be a nightmare, but it's for me, and I think it's really cool. So check this out. I made it so that I can download articles from the internet. You guys can hear me, right? I just want to make sure. Just checking here. Not allergic to roaches. My God, that's disturbing. Yes, okay. Anyway, you can download articles from the internet, and you can convert it to basically any language, and you can text to speech it into English and then into another language, and it'll read the English sentence and then the other language's sentence. English, other language, like this, for example. Let me find, this is one I worked on earlier, right here. Okay, bilingual, here you go.
The Pan-German Vision, die Pangermanische Vision. The Austrian state in which both Liszt and Lanz came of age and first formulated their ideas was the product of three major political changes at the end of the 1860s. Der österreichische Staat, in dem sowohl Liszt als auch Lanz erwachsen wurden und ihre Ideen erstmals formulierten, war das Produkt dreier großer politischer Veränderungen. Am Ende der 1860er Jahre.
What a fucking word that is in German. 1800 Scheidsiger or something. My God, that word.
These changes consisted of the exclusion of Austria from the German Confederation, the administrative separation of Hungary from Austria, and the establishment of a constitutional monarchy in the Austrian or western half of the empire. Diese Veränderungen bestanden aus dem...
That's pretty cool, right? I'm really proud of it. Now, it may not seem like it has a lot of utility to you yet, but I got Aesop's Fables. If you guys don't know Aesop's Fables, it's like these old stories from like, I think millennia ago, like thousands of years old, that were written. And they were just very basic stories, just very short. Here, I'll show you. Nope, that's the wrong one. It's, here, Aesop's Fables. See if I can zoom in on this puppy. I cannot zoom in on this puppy satisfactorily. But here's an example. The flies in the honey pot. A number of flies were attracted to a jar of honey, which had been overturned in a housekeeper's room, and placing their feet in it, ate greedily. Their feet, however, became so smeared with the honey that they could not use their wings, nor release themselves, and were suffocated. Just as they were expiring, they exclaimed, "O foolish creatures that we are, for the sake of a little pleasure, we have destroyed ourselves. Pleasure bought with pains hurts." It's just, little stories, basically, from human history. And it's like thousands of them, or maybe hundreds of them. Lots and lots and lots of stories. Well, I'm sending it through an analysis tool to make it sound more like on third grade reading level instead of Old English, basically, or Middle English. And then I'm going to send it through my bilingual thing. I'm super proud of this, dude. I swear, I've been working on this for a week or more, and I'm really happy with how it's turning out right now. Pretty soon I'm going to let it just run, the whole thing run, but Aesop's Fables right here. Just with the first couple of analysis tool runs that I used, it changed some of the stories. Like, a bat fell to the ground. A weasel caught him. The bat begged, "Please don't hurt me." The weasel said, "I can't let you go. I hate all birds." The bat said, "But I'm not a bird. I'm a mouse." The weasel believed him and let him go. Soon after, the bat fell to the ground again. Another weasel caught him. The bat begged this weasel too. "Please don't eat me." The weasel said, "I really hate mice. I have to eat you." The bat said, "But I'm not a mouse. I'm a bat." The weasel believed him, so the bat got away a second time. It is smart to use what's happening around you to help yourself. It's a weird story, okay? It's Aesop's Fables. Give it a rest. Give it some slack. But that is the new version. The original, see if I can find the original in here. Bats and birds. Where's the original? Yeah, the bat and the weasels. A bat who fell upon the ground and was caught by a weasel pleaded to be spared his life. The weasel refused, saying he was by nature the enemy of all birds. The bat assured him that he was not a bird, but a mouse, and thus was set free. Shortly afterward, the bat again fell to the ground and was caught by another weasel, whom he likewise entreated not to eat him. I mean, really complicated words. So I basically sent it through to downgrade it to a third grade level. The weasel said that he had a special hostility to mice. The bat assured him that he was not a mouse, but a bat, and thus a second time escaped. It is wise to turn circumstances to good account. So anyway, yeah, I reduced it to a third grade reading level, and I'm going to translate it to German and read one sentence in English and then in German, the next sentence in English and then German. Man, that bat should have his vision corrected, right? Anyway, I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out. Really proud of it. I think it's going really well, and I'm super excited. I think I'm going to do the translation, and then I'm going to upload it to Audible, make it available for people. Aesop's Fables revised, so kind of an English translation, if you will, for children. And if you want to learn a new language, you can do it with this. And I can do it with any language, too. Like, the software I'm using, XTTS is what it's called. It does almost any language. Not any, but all the major ones. Korean and Mandarin and, Cantonese and German and French and everything. It's really cool. I like the original much better. Me too, but it won't work for people trying to learn a new language. If you're very early in your language learning process, entreated is not a word that you'll need to know in German. Anyway, welcome, Joni Cummings. Thanks for coming. All right, well, let's, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let Aesop's Fables, let's see if I can, let's see. All right, I have a test. Let's see if I can get this test working. I'm going to do it in Korean. No, Chinese. No, Korean. I'm going to do it in Korean this time. I'm going to let it run. It's added to the queue. I just added it to the queue. And then I'm going to hit start. And now it's just going to do a cleanup. Then it's going to translate. It's going to do an English text-to-speech, then Korean text-to-speech. And it's going to interleave them. That's the assembly stage there. So that'll be awesome. It's hitting the first 5 stories. Okay, well, let's talk about what we're going to talk about, shall we? These are all the books that I've text-to-speeched so far that you see on screen here. Here, I'll show you what it sounds like. Books, audiobooks. Here, The Hitler Myth by Ian Kershaw. Ian Kershaw's the shit, dude. I love that guy. Where? Oh, here it is, right here. Hold on.
Preface to the new edition. The original version of this book was published in 1980 by Deutsche Verlags and Stolt as part of the Schriftenreihe der Vierteljahrhefte für Zeitgeschichte.
A German name.
Under the aegis of the Institute for Zeitgeschichte in Munich. I had hoped with the publication to make a modest contribution, to an understanding of the dynamics of National Socialist rule by looking at the way, mirrored through a great many reports on popular opinion compiled by agents of the regime at numerous levels.
That's really good, right? I think that's like phenomenally good quality.
From his spirit.
This is just a random spot, 2 hours, 55 minutes.
He came from the people and has remained among the people. The smallest approach him in friendly and confiding manner because they sense that he's their friend and protector. But the entire people loves him because it feels safe in his hands like a child in the arms of its mother. Just as we do, who are gathered close by him, so the last man in the farthest village says in this hour, what he was, he is, and what he is, he should remain.
It started yelling at me all of a sudden. It does that sometimes. I mean, it's not perfect, but all things considered, damn, right? All things considered, that's pretty fucking good, I think. I'm like really impressed with this. It's such a shame that Koqui, C-O-Q-U-I, is the name of the company that did XTTS, that created the models and stuff. And they shut down a couple of years ago. They lost funding. And they made everything that they created open source. So anyway, I'm just really impressed with this. TBH, I hate AI. Well, this is AI only in like, I don't know. It's not the same AI that you hate. I mean, it's just a program. Like, this is literally just a program. The line between AI and program is kind of blurry when you're dealing with a lot of the stuff that I'm dealing with. So, I mean, what is it that you hate? Is it like large language models? Is it machine learning as a whole? You know, like it's a little more complicated than just saying this is AI. Because this type of AI has existed for like decades. They just perfected it over the past 10 years, you know? I wonder who voices computer voices and who compiles responses of things like AI. Well, I have a bunch of different models, voice models. That one was Scarlett Johansson. I'm not selling it. It's just for my personal use for books and stuff. So I'm comfortable using that one. There are actually, you know what's funny? We're going completely off subject. I'm supposed to be talking about Jake Lang here, but Scarlett Johansson actually, ChatGPT created a text-to-speech model, and they used Scarlett Johansson's voice without asking her, and she sued the shit out of them for it because they were profiting off of her voice without giving her royalties, without even asking. So they said, all right, we'll change it. They changed it, but if you can use their text-to-speech models today, that's the voice. It's still there. It's that voice that I just played. I mean, that's not from ChatGPT. That's from me, but they're still using it. So anyway, I'm pretty proud of all of it. I think it's awesome. I've been thinking about how to make this available to the public. There's just no good way to do it, honestly. It's too complicated. I think I could make it available to the public, but it would be very, very expensive and difficult. So, just looking. Was I buffering? Text-to-speech been on computers for years, though. Just saying. Yeah, this isn't like AI in the same way that you know AI. Like, text-to-speech has existed since forever. Literally since the 80s. They've just been improving, like, you know. This isn't even an LLM. What I'm working with is not an LLM like ChatGPT is. It's just a computer program. That's all. So, not that I have a problem with AI. I don't. In fact, I love AI. I think it's extremely valuable and helpful and useful. But this is not that, so... Okay, cool. Well, let's hit it, shall we? Where is my Jake Lang stuff? Tabs. You know what? First, let's hit Tom McDonald. Yeah. Let's hit him first. This poor dumb fool. All right, cool. Yeah. Again, AI. I used a program to remove. All right, let me say this again. Tom McDonald is a MAGA nutcase, a MAGA singer, and he wrote an absolutely psychotic song. I removed the music from the song, so we just get the vocals. Hopefully, I can avoid a copyright strike or whatever. But listen to this: "Pray for the left." His shirt says "Pray for the left."
They always said that Charlie Kirk was a Nazi, then they celebrated after they killed him.
After they killed him. I love that he says that like the left as a whole killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, I'm sorry.
They tried to tell us that Black Lives Matter and that white people have always been villains.
Who the fuck said that? Who said white people are villains? I'm fucking white.
They burning flags in the streets and they scream at police taking illegals to prison. They got rainbows on their bedroom walls and they swear to God that men can be women. They're scrolling.
No, you know what I say? I say people can be who people want to be because that's freedom, baby. Freedom. And he doesn't seem to understand the concept of freedom. You know what's fascinating to me? This is really like, when it boils down to it, this isn't an academic argument. This is just kind of a colloquial understanding. But fascism is the concept of conform or else. If you don't conform to what these people, what's best for the group or whatever, then you need to get out. You need to die, or you need to be deported, or you need to otherwise disappear. Fascism and freedom are mutually exclusive concepts. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This guy wants you to conform or else. Again, fascism is complicated. You know, there are steps to fascism. There are qualities, you know, the 14 qualities by Umberto Eco and everything else. But at its heart, it is conform or else, which is what this guy is all about, really.
And they swear to God that men can be women. They're scrolling through their TikToks to get the news. They heard that Trump's a fascist. They swear it's true. They said...
Well, he is a fascist. Yes, there is absolutely no question about that. I'm sorry that you don't like that or whatever, but he is. And you've fallen for the fascist mindset of conforming or else. Like, he apparently doesn't believe people should be allowed to just live their fucking lives the way that they want to live their lives.
They set fire to Minnesota. We smell the fumes.
You know what's funny? I'm sorry, I'm stopping a lot, but I just want to, like, really... I can't let him get away with any of this. You know who burned down Minnesota, quote unquote? A Boogaloo Boy. The building that famously burned down in Minnesota during the George Floyd protests was the police precinct. And a Trump-supporting extremist and accelerationist nutcase was trying to start a race war by lighting the police precinct on fire. That was not the left. But okay, you keep lying, you know, that's fine, I suppose. I'll keep debunking.
They say that guns are dangerous. Guess they're the proof. They'll shoot that red hat off your head.
They'll shoot that red hat off of your head?
Then make a meme of your last breath. 'Cause you're not like them, so they want you dead, but we'll still pray for the left.
Isn't that interesting? They're not like, you're not like them, so they want you dead. No, in no way is that accurate. I simply want to live my life and be left the fuck alone. And that goes for everybody on the left. We all want to live our fucking lives and be left alone. And you are shoving your shit in our face and refusing to let us just live our lives. You're refusing to let trans people just be fucking trans. You're refusing to let gay people just live their life and be gay and mind your own fucking business. You can't live with people being different from you. That is the issue. Leave me alone. That's what I want. Leave me alone. This is called Darvo. It's a psychology. It's an abuse tactic that's well known in psychology. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. I'm denying that I'm attacking the left. And then I'm going to attack them and say, you are violent. You are causing all these problems. And then reverse victim and offender. White people are the real victims, not black people. White people are the victims. This dude is fucking vile.
Say that they're hurt by things we said. They say we deserve it when we're dead. When we're shot in the neck with our last breath. We'll still pray for the left, praying for...
Okay, I don't want him dead. I want him to, leave me alone. That would be fantastic. Leave us alone and stay out of the fucking government with your Jesus shit. Go pray for me all you want at your church and leave me alone. This dude and people like him can't wrap their brains around leaving me the fuck alone.
Praying for the left. They keep saying that ICE are the Nazis, so they're buying guns and tracking positions.
Wait, the left is buying guns? Is that bad? Is owning guns bad now in your mind? And yes, ICE it has, they've murdered people now, so.
Go tell the parents of the kids who were killed. Illegal immigrants are really the victims. They say America ain't safe if you're black or trans or gay. I think it's way more dangerous to be a Christian.
Oh, fucking please, dude. It's more dangerous to be a Christian in the United States than to be gay? What is this dude smoking? Seriously. This is disgusting and ridiculous.
Y'all started acting different back when Anthony Fauci made you keep the ones you love at a distance. They're scrolling.
Okay, Anthony Fauci didn't make me do anything. The CDC and the NIH recommended that we social distance, 6 feet apart if possible, and reduce the amount of time we spend around people physically. Not emotionally, not on the phone or whatever, physically. Because that's how you get out of a fucking pandemic. I know these people are completely brainwashed and have absolutely no clue what's going on around them. But people like this who so brazenly just make shit up, I'm convinced he knows what he's doing. And he's doing it intentionally to deceive people. Just a real fast with Bookforge. The Wolf and the Lamb. This let me see. I think it finished. No? A wolf met a lamb who had wandered away from his family. The wolf wanted to eat the lamb, but he didn't want to just attack him. He wanted to find a good reason first, something that would make it seem fair. So the wolf said, "Last year you were very rude to me. But I wasn't even born last year," the lamb said sadly. Then the wolf said, "You eat the grass in my field." "No, sir," replied the lamb. "I've never even tasted grass yet." The wolf tried again. "You drink from my water." "No," said the lamb. "I only drink my mother's milk." Wow, this is apt, right? "I've never had water." The wolf grabbed the lamb and ate him up anyway. "Well, I'm hungry," he said. "I'm not going without dinner just because you can prove me wrong about everything. A bully will always find an excuse to be mean." Holy shit, dude. This is how old is this fable? This is so on point right now, dude. Oh my god. 620 and 560 BCE. It's 2500 years old. That is on point, bro. I am so going to text-to-speech this into German and stuff. I'm sorry, we're getting sidetracked again, but this is really interesting. Give me 1 second. clean version. That's fucking awesome, dude. I'm a big fan of that story. The Bat and the Weasels. A bat fell to the ground. A weasel caught him. The bat begged, "Please don't eat me." The weasel said, "I can't let you go. I'm the enemy of all birds." The bat said, "But I'm not a bird. I'm a mouse." So the weasel let him go. A little while later, the bat fell to the ground again. Another weasel caught him. The bat begged again, "Please don't eat me." This weasel said, "I really don't like mice." The bat said, "But I'm not a mouse. I'm a bat." So the weasel let him go too. It is smart to use whatever helps you in different situations. Interesting. I wonder why the tool chose to use "it is smart" instead of "it is wise," which is what it originally said. I guess wise isn't a third grade reading level thing. Shifty Lincoln, Jake's actual first name is Edward. I didn't know that. I found that out from the Ramsey County jail roster. With that said, he kicks like a toddler. Hello, Owen from Minnesota. I'm going to read this super chat again when we're in the middle of that story. On Tyranny's great book, just started reading. Oh, yeah, I text-to-speech to that book, too. I don't know if you saw that in my book list right here, On Tyranny. It is pretty good. Timothy Snyder is a World War II historian that I have read on other subjects, too. Trump put anti-Christians on his NSPM 7 memo, labeling them as terrorists. Come again? Christian nationalists are the domestic terrorists. 100%. They absolutely are. Christian nationalists are the domestic terrorists. And that's not me saying it. That's them saying it. Let me pull it up. Where is it? Here. This is from the Republican National Convention, the RNC, or no, CPAC. It's from the Conservative Political Action Conference, CPAC 2022, I think. We are all domestic terrorists, right on their banner. They know what they are. And they're claiming we're the domestic terrorists.
Through their TikToks and Tifa clips, they say that Trump is Hitler. They're mad they missed. They think they have a feel.
Who the fuck is they in this situation? Who do you think took a shot at Trump? It wasn't the left. This kid was a registered Republican. That's not left wing. Last I checked, Republican is right wing. But, rewrite history to fit your feelings better, because your feelings are all that matter, right? Sorry, let me move Bookforge back over. Dude, this guy has even more psychotic clips that we're going to listen to in a second. Just keep listening here. Yeah, and who is Antifa? Are they in the room with us right now?
They say that Trump is Hitler. They're mad they missed. They think that how they feel is how it is. And conservatives are evil. We shouldn't live.
But listen to this dude. They think how they feel is how it is. Listen to this guy talking shit. Like, literally nothing that he said in this song is accurate. Factually accurate. The whole thing is fucking made up.
They'll shoot that red hat off your head.
Has somebody been shot in the head for having a red hat? What are you talking about?
They make a meme of your last breath. 'Cause you're not like them, so they want you dead. But we'll still pray for the left. They'll say that they're hurt by things we said.
Well, I mean, you say the N-word and stuff. So there's that. I'm not a huge fan of you saying the N-word. Yeah, that's kind of fucking hurtful. Or what about this one? Wait, where is it? Let me find it. Hold on, I'm sorry. No, not that one. Where is it?
Just a pastor, not just a man.
This is a bad song, dude. It's AI generated, I believe.
He's a lion with a Bible and a constitutional plan. With a voice like thunder.
This is not the one I was looking for. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. This was made by MAGA, this song. Specifically, it was made by Forgiato Blow, a close friend of Tom McDonald, who we were just listening to. These are coon dogs, by the way. If you didn't know, they are famously a breed of dog that was set on black people who ran, like slaves. Black slaves who ran and escaped. They were set on them. That's why they're showing these dogs, these coon dogs, in this video.
Whoa, we need a big tall tree and a short piece of rope. Hang 'em up high at sundown. Leave 'em swinging so the folks all know you don't mess around in our town. A big tall tree and a short piece of rope.
That shit's chilling. Again, friends of Tom McDonald. Okay, yeah, I get a little bit offended when you say that you want to hang people from trees after sundown. I lived in a sundown town. Okay? They're famous for hanging black people after sundown. That's obviously what was being referenced. Straight up fucking evil. These people, and that song was called Good versus Evil. Yeah, this is a good versus evil fight. I don't like doing this whole black and white good versus evil thinking, but when you are literally singing a song about hanging black people, there's a line, right? Somewhere in there.
They say we deserve it when we're dead. When we're shot in the neck with our last breath, we'll still pray for the left.
Well, look. I don't want anybody to die. I'm not going to celebrate anyone's death, but if you write songs about hanging black people from trees and you say the N-word derogatorily, I'm not going to cry when I read your obituary.
Scratching swastikas and Teslas ain't gonna change a thing. You can burn our cities down, but we'll just make them great again.
Again, like, the left is not burning cities down. That was Trump-supporting Boogaloo Boys that burned the police precinct in Minnesota during the George Floyd stuff.
Oh, they hate us because they say that we are full of hate. They want to kill all the police trying to keep them safe. They'll shoot
I don't want any police death. Like, what are you smoking?
that badge of yours right off your chest.
Did someone's badge get shot off their chest? What are you talking about? This is like completely fabricated. Talk about facts over feelings? Talk about what I believe is true, not the actual facts? This dude is in La La Land.
They want a civil war.
I don't want that shit.
Pray for the left.
Anyway, that's Pray for the Left, his new song. Fucking vile, dude. He's made some other really weird, disturbing songs, too. He did one with Roseanne, who is... there's a word to describe what she is in this image. Schmoobligong? That feels right.
We want it, too bad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We want it, you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave the flag. Thank God that we're back, couldn't take another 4 years.
I'm sorry, did this guy just call Donald Trump daddy? Please don't fucking do that. There is a lot of weird shit going on with these people emotionally. To call Trump daddy like that. And you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, hold on. Wait, where's... Give me a second here. I gotta find something I posted not too long ago. Where is it? Hold on. It's, by the way, check out my merch. My therapist says I'm a great kisser. That's one of my favorite shirts. Where is it? I'm looking for the... I know I posted this not too long... Here, yes. Forgiato Blow, the dude from that song that I was playing a minute ago. If you zoom in real close and look at his shirt, Born to Ride Donald J. Trump is what it says. Born to Ride Donald J. Trump. I'm telling you, there's something going on with these people. Born to ride Daddy Trump, one might say.
That's a rap. I can take a bath in your tears. That's a fact. You got lipstick all on your beard. You're a man. That is cap. That is cap. Cap, 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 cap. You pretending you're accepting. That's an act. That's an act. You hear pat, 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 pat. If you want our freedom, come and take it back. Bet you can.
Yeah, obviously I cut the music out of this, and it sounds ridiculous, but I promise it sounded ridiculous before removing the music.
We want you mad, it's done, too bad, boo-hoo, so sad. We want you mad, you cry, we laugh, we wave a flag.
They try to cancel me and say that I'm a racist. Got a mean hook, they can't hit me with that jab.
Yeah, well, Roseanne did call one of Obama's aides an ape, so there's that.
Trying to take away my right to go and say this. Well,
No, you have the right to say this, and I have the right to not fucking follow you anymore. Act like a victim when you literally call black people apes, and people don't want to listen to your stupid shit anymore. Yeah, you're the victim here. Totally.
yes. Well, listen up, because this gun is going bad. With the facts, 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 facts. Why they trying to turn Becky into Dan? You get tap, 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 tap. Screw Eminem. I'm Roseanne.
So fucking stupid, dude. It's so just the level of stupid this is. I can't articulate how fucking stupid this is and embarrassing. Anyway, that's Tom McDonald's complete piece of shit. Tell me what you think in the comments. Born to ride Donald J. Trump. All right, let me write down my timestamp on this, and then we'll hit Jake Lang. Hold on. Timestamp is 37 minutes. And then Jake Lang. All right. Jake Lang. Tabs. Jake Lang. Here we are. Open. Hold on. Nope. Okay, it's broken. Jake Lang.
President.
Here it is. Open. Open. Alrighty. Awesome. Yeah, there's this dude, this January 6er, who was pardoned by Donald Trump, a violent January 6er who, if I'm not mistaken, swung a baseball bat at police, and that's what landed him in federal prison, and then was pardoned by Donald Trump. Well, he's a professional troll now, and went to an ICE protest and destroyed an ICE sculpture. Like ice as in frozen water. A frozen water sculpture that says prosecute ICE. He destroyed it.
President.
And he got arrested and put in prison for it. I think he's facing a felony. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. I'll read the article in a second.
President Trump, we support you. We support ICE. Our country was made for Americans, not for Somalis.
Like, what is this doofus wearing? He almost bit it when he kicked over that S. Oh, that would have been top tier shit if he, like, face planted.
True ICE, baby! America first, America only! We'll see you here, February 7th, Saturday, 12 noon, outside the Minnesota State Capitol.
Okay, now I don't want to hear another fucking word from conservatives who supported this or who clapped for it, like clapped their hands into bloody nubs over it. I don't want to hear another fucking word from those people about destruction of property, about property crimes. Not one fucking word from you about property crimes, because this shows me they're perfectly fine with destruction of property, with property crimes, with vandalism, with whatever. They just want to be the ones doing it. Anyway, So he ends up going to jail for this. Listen to this news report.
This morning, a right-wing influencer facing charges for his latest stunt here in Minnesota.
Jake Lang was booked into the Ramsey County Jail yesterday after the 30-year-old posted a video to social media. It showed himself destroying an ice sculpture just hours after it was unveiled at the state capitol. And here's what the sculpture looked like. Lawmakers and veterans and community leaders unveiled it more than a 20-foot-long frozen statement earlier in the day, this creation. It read, "Prosecute ICE." Authorities say this was a permitted display at the state capitol. Lang left the scene in a vehicle, but State Patrol says he was pulled over by a trooper and arrested. He was booked on suspicion of criminal damage to property. One of the organizers of the ice sculpture sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "I gave 8 years of my life in service to this country, to the military. For a January 6th insurrectionist to destroy our display is an attack on the First Amendment veterans like me fought to defend." Lang was pardoned by the president last year.
6:06 right now, the Minneapolis.
Was it only last year? That's crazy. By the way, Shifty Lincoln sends a super chat, says Jake's actual first name is Edward. That's useful information. Thank you. His first name is Edward. I found that out from the Ramsey County Jail roster. With that said, he kicks like a toddler. Hello from Minnesota. I hope you're fighting the good fight over there. On Tyranny is a great book I just started reading. It is a good book. And it's very short, too. And I think it's like 20 steps to fighting fascism, basically. It's really good stuff. You should give it a read if you haven't already. Anyway, yeah. All right. Now, check this out. Jake Lang continued on, I believe, that same day to make a fool of himself and cause problems for people. He goes into a bar, and they kick him out because he's being an obnoxious fucking fool, and he can't just sit down and eat his food or drink his drink or whatever. He wants to cause havoc. And when he's getting kicked out, he tells the bar owner he's going to call ICE on him because he's Mexican.
This is what you get when you're a patriot, right? Because we support ICE and you don't support ICE. It has nothing to do. So that's exactly.
We're just simply allowed to not he's a veteran as well.
I'm the other way. This a patriot.
We're getting kicked out of this bar here because we support ICE.
Yeah, totally. That's it, right? I bet that's the explanation for sure.
We're American patriots. We support President Trump.
We're allowed to kick people out.
Yeah, I know, but why are we getting?
Dude, she's got a Guns N' Roses shirt. Fucking metal.
But what did we do?
Acted like fucking fools. Did you miss that? You got gummy bears in your ears?
Yeah, but why? Because we support ICE. We're sitting there talking about. Hey, we're gonna deport all you sons of bitches. All right. Hey, white people aren't allowed.
And I refuse to have you record.
Don't you touch me. Don't you touch me.
He literally just said white people aren't allowed in the bar with a white person kicking his ass out. He is such a piece of shit, dude. Seriously, what is wrong with this sack of shit?
First Amendment right. The First Amendment right. Don't touch me.
Please leave.
Call the police.
Please leave.
Call ICE, actually, for you freaking illegal immigrant bartenders.
Please leave.
No, I have a First Amendment right to record in any public setting.
No, you don't.
This is not a public setting. This is private property with a public invitation to anybody, but they can rescind that invitation. It's the same logic used in Kingdom Hall crashing. Kingdom Halls of Jehovah's Witnesses are legally private property that have an invitation to the public, and they rescind your invitation when you stand up and start talking during a meeting, for example. You are now legally obligated to leave. What he's doing right now is identical to what the church protesters did a while back. If you guys remember that. Hold on. Church. Wait. Sorry.
That you can see all the
Here. This is the church protest where they waited for the service to end. They waited for the final prayer, and then they stood up and said, "Why are you supporting a pastor who is the field officer for Minnesota for ICE?"
You can see all these pretend Christians, all these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters.
And they literally charged him with the Klan Act and the Face Act for protesting. It's no different from what Jake Lang is doing here, except Jake Lang is refusing to leave now.
Yes, I do.
We're private extremists, man.
So why isn't the federal government charging Jake Lang with, crimes or whatever, with any of these crimes? Why aren't they charging him with anything? Because they support what he's doing. It's justice unequally applied. They will charge you with whatever they can, and they will let their allies go.
It's a public setting.
No, we're not.
We're
private. It's
you're
time for you to
recording me.
go.
Don't touch me. Don't touch
Go.
me. White
Now.
liberals here in Minnesota destroying our country.
It's time to go.
White liberals destroying our country. I know.
I'll tell you what Jehovah's Witnesses do. They will circle the person who they don't want there anymore, and they will link arms in a circle and walk out with them in the center of the circle.
No, I know that. Believe me, I can see the look on your face. This is how BLVD treats patriots. This is how BLVD.
It's time to walk out.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me. You're going to catch a white cross you've never fucking seen in your life. Don't you touch me.
Don't touch him.
You guys are
God bless you.
God bless you.
We're sending ice. We're sending ice here.
ice.
We're sending ice. Anchor
We're
babies.
sending ice.
Anchor babies.
Anchor babies. Like, the degree of hate is just unmatched, dude. This guy's fucking vile.
Anchor baby. Anchor baby. Anchor baby.
Like, he literally doesn't even know this person. He's just throwing like slurs around at him.
That's what you get. Because we're Trump supporters. They kicked us out. Because we're Trump supporters.
Yeah, not because you're a fucking idiot. It's definitely your political beliefs. Absolutely. Like I said, they have a right to kick your ass out. Like, they don't have no obligation to keep you in that restaurant. But he doesn't understand that, or he doesn't give a fuck, one or the other. Anyway, let's just kind of glance through this article real fast. Jake Lang. Hold on, 37. All right. St. Paul, Minnesota. Far-right influencer Jake Lang, who was pardoned for his role in January 6 riots, is facing a felony charge for reportedly damaging a Prosecute ICE sculpture at the Minnesota State Capitol, claiming it was an act of artistic expression. What a shithead, dude, right? Charges filed for damage to Prosecute ICE sculpture. The backstory: Ramsey County prosecutors charged 30-year-old Edward Jacob Lang. How about that? Edward Jacob Lang with a felony count of first-degree damage to property. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison, a $10,000 fine, or both. According to the complaint... Wow, that's interesting. It's a felony of first-degree damage to property. 5 years in prison. Wow. I hope he goes to prison, seriously. According to the complaint, the Common Defense Organization paid $6,250 to a local artist to create the ice sculpture and obtained a permit to display it on Capitol grounds from 6:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. on February 5th. The organization also paid an additional $600 to have the sculpture removed after the permit period ended, with plans to donate it to a local business. What would they... It's an ice sculpture. It's going to melt, right? What would a local business use an ice sculpture for? People are certainly going to come up and sit on it and take pictures in front of it, right? You can't use that for people's drinks. Or can you? At around 2:30 p.m. that day, troopers at the Minnesota State Capitol were alerted to a vandalism incident. A man dressed in camouflage, identified in the complaint as Lang, allegedly... Why say allegedly? I get that they're like, you got to hedge for legal reasons, but he literally took a video of himself doing it. Allegedly kicked over and destroyed the letters SECUTE, altering the ice sculpture that read Prosecute ICE to say Pro-ICE. When stopped by troopers, Lang said he was on the Capitol grounds exercising his First Amendment right to artistic expression. When asked about the damage, Lang said the sculpture was made of ice and could not sustain its structure. Lang also reportedly stated that he recorded the incident and posted it to his social media account. I was creating art. I was exercising my First Amendment right to artistic expression, Lang reportedly said. This is a dude that should have stayed in prison. He should have stayed in federal prison. In the criminal complaint, prosecutors note the First Amendment does indeed protect artistic expression, the creation and display of an ice sculpture, for example. The First Amendment does not, however, provide protection against damaging someone else's property. Lang made his first appearance in court on Friday afternoon and remains in custody at Ramsey County Jail. This article came out February 6th. I'm wondering, is he still in there? Let me see if I can find the answer to this. Hold on. Give me a second here. Okay. Yeah, it looks like he was released on OR, his own recognizance, which means he signed himself out of jail. No bail required. He's scheduled to return to court March 3rd. A judge on Friday ordered, so the day it happened, ordered Lang to stay at least 3 blocks away from the state capitol. And he decided apparently to go to the Whipple building, which I believe is a different federal building where people protest. And he cosplayed as Nazi Jesus. Really? Hang on. Guy. Hang on. Being ordered to stay away from the Capitol. I mean, the damage is done, so, you know, I don't fully understand the point of staying 3 blocks away from the Capitol building, but whatever. Yeah. So, I'm just looking into the Nazi Jesus thing. All right, Saturday, February 8th, a video shared on his social media page shows him in the back of a moving U-Haul truck. That means he's probably a Patriot Front person. That's how they transport their people. Screaming into a microphone as the song Ice Ice Baby blares from the truck. We will not be replaced by Somalians, Mr. Lang yells, adding, American men, stand now or be replaced. Stand now or be replaced. This is our country. Muslims go home. Around 6 men stand beside Mr. Lang. One man holds a wooden cross. Another man wearing all black appears to clutch a paintball gun with its long barrel pointed at protesters following the vehicle. Bags of ice lie by their feet. Let me see if I can pull this article up here. I was hoping for a video. It doesn't look like we have one, but yeah, he's just making a fool of himself as usual. Anyway, I hope he goes to federal prison. I doubt it. Or even state prison. I'll take anything at this point. But, you know, one can dream. Tell me what you think in the comments. All right, that was 54 minutes. Next story. Let's see here. We have Lindell. Andrew Tate is pretty interesting. I also have something to talk about with Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me pull up... all right, let me see here. Finish Jake Lang. This is another program I wrote called Clipchimp. I've got a couple years in on this program. Let's see. We finished Tom McDonald. Got Kid Rock, Hank Kunneman, Lauren Witzke, Jehovah's Witnesses, Andrew Tate. Let me open Andrew Tate. Why Why did it just open one? That's weird.
You can see.
Ugh, God, I have to refresh it constantly. I gotta fix that. I don't know why it's doing that. Open. There we are. Okay, good. So I saw this video from Andrew Tate the other day, and just listen to this.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced.
I'm sorry, hang on, let me fix the audio.
I'm too smart to read.
Sorry, all right, one more time.
Reading books is a very cheap way to, I guess, entertain. I wouldn't call it entertainment because my brain is far too advanced. I'm too smart to read. I know you're gonna sit there and go, smart people read. No.
Dude, I swear to God, when I first heard of this guy, he was saying something equally as fucking stupid. And I was like, this is a troll, right? This cannot be real. And he just keeps pumping out the stupidest shit imaginable. What that is like, I don't understand how somebody can say something so vapid and idiotic, honestly. I'm too smart to read? My brain is too big to read?
I'm too smart to read.
It's so painfully stupid.
I know you're gonna sit there and go, smart people read. No. I need action. I need constant chaos in my
Okay, and that makes you smart?
My life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fucking fighting, fucking a bunch of hoes and champagne and going crazy. I can't just sit there, oh, and the pirate on the boat. Like,
the pirate on the boat.
Just for people with slow brains.
It's so goddamn fucking stupid, dude. I swear it is so fucking stupid. So anyway, I kind of glancing through for like, you know, some humdingers of videos from Andrew Tate. And I found even more of him talking shit about books.
I'm too smart for books. Yeah, I'm too smart for books. So Twitter's upset about that. There's obviously some fucking broke dude.
I'm not upset about it, okay? I just recognize it as one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. It doesn't upset me at all that he thinks he's too smart for books.
Who reads books, who's really upset by the fact that I have a $110 million car collection and 400...
Well, I'm not upset about that, actually. You know what I'm upset about? I'm upset about the fact that you were that you human trafficked to get the money to buy it. That's what I'm upset about. I don't like that you literally trafficked human beings to get it.
$100 million of property around the world. I'm one of the most well-known, relevant people. I'm one of the most famous people on the fucking planet.
Is he trying to prove he's smart or what? I don't understand. What does this have to do with literally anything? Why the fuck do I care about any of this?
I get asked to do podcasts about every subject. About pussy and bitches, geopolitics, money, you name it. There's not a fucking subject on earth that every single podcaster that these losers watch doesn't beg me, Andrew Tate, please will you come on my show? Please with your opinion.
Oh, I see. He's saying people ask him to talk on these subjects, and that proves he's smart. Okay, got it.
How did I get all these amazing opinions without reading books? Oh, I should have read books and sat at home and been fucking broke. Like all the people on Twitter who think reading's so important. Reading's so important. How come no one knows who the fuck you are?
Well, I mean, I think I'm notable in my own right. I don't think that I'm a nobody, exactly. I think people know who I am. And I do value books. A lot. In fact, I read the shit out of books. Books. I don't think that reading for the sake of reading is important. I don't care if you read. Honestly, like, I don't read a lot of nonfiction. I read nonfiction sometimes, like my favorite series, the Deathstalker series by Simon R. Green. Top tier shit. Best book I've ever read in my entire life. Or best book series. You got to read all 8 of them. But especially if you're going to be talking on geopolitics, you got to understand what you're talking about, right? And books are... every opinion that people put out there has probably come from a book or a study or something. Like, everything we know about Germany in World War II, or everything that people talk about on the subject of World War II on YouTube, has probably come from a book that they read or something. That's the main way through which scholars communicate their ideas and information, is through books. So if you're just talking on geopolitics and refuse to read a book on the subject, you're not providing any new novel information. You're just spewing your garbage everywhere. That's the way I see it. Now, as for me, I didn't read a lot. In fact, I don't like physically sitting there and reading a book. It feels like a little bit of a waste of time if I'm not doing two things at once. So I like listening to audiobooks while playing like a video game like Zelda or something. I know, I'm like Andrew Tate's worst nightmare, somebody who plays video games and listens to books. Anyway, a lot of the World War II era books that I got the most valuable information from aren't even in print. They haven't been in print for 50 years. So I invented like this whole system of text-to-speech that I use to TTS books that are really, really old. I called it Book Forge. And here's just like an example. Just check this out. This is The Hitler Myth by Ian Kershaw, a World War II, Hitler's biographer. He's still alive today.
Party, pointing out the widespread concern that after carrying out the action of 30 June, everything will essentially remain the same. Goering pressed Hess to undertake a comprehensive purge, which he himself regarded as of paramount political significance. Given the coming winter of austerity and economic difficulties, in order to exploit all psychological means to maintain and lift morale and to guarantee the success of the coming winter aid program.
I mean, that's pretty good, right? I've got it down to a science now. I'm pretty impressed with it, to be honest. But the point is that reading books gives you new, valuable information, gives you a new wealth of ideas that wouldn't be there otherwise. And that's why I think reading is valuable. By the way, quick side note, I text-to-speeched the first 5 chapters of Aesop's Fables after cleaning it up and like rewriting it basically for like a 3rd grade reading level. Listen to this. Oh, and I translated it to Korean. I don't know Korean or anything about it. I've never even heard it. Very rarely have I heard it in my life.
The Wolf and the Lamb. 늑대와 어린 양. A wolf met a lamb who had wandered away from his family. 늑대가 가족으로부터 떨어져 나온 어린 양을 만났습니다. The wolf wanted to eat the lamb, but he didn't want to just attack him. 늑대는 어린 양을 먹고 싶었지만 그냥 공격하고 싶지는 않았습니다.
That's fucking awesome, right? I am so proud of this program. I think this is the best, dude. It writes it in Korean and everything. I'm super proud of this. I'm totally going to make Aesop's Fables available on like Audible or something. I don't know. Rewritten for like a, like a 3rd grade level or a 5th grade level maybe. And different translations. German, Korean, Mandarin, everything. I think that's the shit.
He wanted to find a good reason first, something that would make it seem fair.
그는 먼저 좋은 이유를 찾고 싶었습니다. 공정해 보이도록 만들 무언가를 말이죠.
So the wolf said, "Last year you were very rude to me."
그래서 늑대가 말했습니다. 작년에 너는 나에게 매우 무례했어.
If you notice, it's scrolling down on each sentence. I designed that too. It produces VTT files, which are basically timestamps with the text. And it's basically like displaying the text as it moves down. I'm just really proud of this.
But I wasn't even born last year, the lamb said sadly.
하지만 저는 작년에 태어나지도 않았어요.
How much is that program? It's my program, and there is no feasible way for me to make it available to the public, sadly. It's just too complicated. It uses a lot of stuff that I can't package it into something that I could provide to other people, unfortunately. I was thinking about how I would do that, and I just don't think that there's a way to do it. It would cost a significant amount of money for me to set it up in a way that others could use it. So, anyway. Okay, thank you, Fixer a Thorn, I think. Thanks for coming. I'll see you soon, I guess. Anyway, I think it's really cool. So, next step for me. I'm going with Aesop's Fables. I'm just going to check it real fast. Let me see. Review. I kind of stepped out of the Andrew Tate thing. I'm sorry. I'm coming back to it in a second. I just want to see how a bat fell to the ground. A weasel caught him. The bat begged, please don't eat me. How many pages is Aesop's Fables anyway? It looked like it was a lot. All right. Well, I think it's good enough now that I'm going to simplify it. I'm just going to go all the way with it now. Skip the translation. Should I translate? And should I text to speech? No. I'm just going to clean it up. Yeah. Add to queue. Start. And let it go. 313 chunks. Jesus Christ. All right, let's continue with Andrew Tate. Sorry for that sidetrack.
No one knows who the fuck you are.
I wouldn't say that.
I learn all my lessons through action, through fighting. I win some fights, I lose some fights, but at least I get in there and fight.
Okay, what does that have to do with reading again? I'm sorry, I'm so fucking lost right now.
Through fighting. I win some fights, I lose some fights, but at least I get in there and fight. You're fucking reading. I'm a man of action. You're a man of fucking pages.
What? Man of pages can't be a man of action too?
I'm just too smart for books. I'm rich. I'm like, can you read this book, please? I'm busy running my business empire. I'm busy being a famous mogul and
busy trafficking other human beings and stealing money from them through force, fraud, and coercion. Yeah, I know. You're busy doing that. Thank you.
Billionaire and driving my Pagani around, have afternoon tea. Can you read this fucking book, please?
Pagani? Is that? I hope that's not a slur. What the fuck is that? Is that a car? Practices a nature-oriented, polytheistic, or pantheistic religion outside the main Abrahamic faith. Oh no, that's pagan. It translated it as pagan. What is that word he just used?
My business empire. I'm busy being a famous mogul and billionaire and driving my Pagani around. Have
okay.
Afternoon tea. Can you read this fucking book, please, peasant, and tell me the basics? You know? All the people complaining about me saying years ago that reading books is bullshit. Instead of sitting there going, well, he's far more successful than me. He's got all those kids, and everyone knows who he is. And he's got all that money.
Wait, does he have a bunch of kids?
On every metric, he's beating me. Your opinion doesn't matter, and guess what? It's Sunday today, and you're on Twitter telling everyone your opinions about me not reading. I'm too smart for books. You're gonna have to get over it and accept that my intellect, my intelligence far surpasses anything that could be prescribed.
Look, I can accept that he got rich through human trafficking, and I can accept that he owns a lot of cars that he purchased through money he earned or stole through force, fraud, or coercion. I can accept that. But I'm sorry, I will not accept that you're too smart for fucking books. You are too stupid for books is the problem. He said he doesn't find them entertaining. That's because you can't understand the words in them, Andrew.
With the English language on a piece of fucking paper.
Anyway, what a fucking asshole, dude. Seriously. Complete loser. It's like, I don't understand what Donald Trump's draw is. He is so fucking stupid. He's orange. He literally paints his face like a clown. Why do people think he's some kind of alpha male? I don't get it. Why do people think Andrew Tate is some kind of an alpha male when he says things like this? Hold on, let me find the video. 1 second.
If you ever see a man who's talking about food, oh, I had this amazing steak at this one restaurant. This steak is so amazing. He's broke. He's a brokey. Because if the steak was so amazing, he'd eat every day. And he'd eat every day to the point where he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. But he doesn't do that because he can't afford it. You understand? So whenever you see anyone talking about bragging about the meal they cooked or this ingredient they got or that steak they had, just do, because people do that to me all the time. And I'm just sitting there going, you're poor. Interesting. Oh, you're broke. Yes.
This is literally the first video I ever saw of the guy, and I thought it was a troll. I thought he was expertly trolling the right. Like, acting like a fucking idiot to make fun of them. Because I swear to God, this is the stupidest shit I have heard in my entire fucking life. Apparently, he doesn't understand the concept of moderation. I said this when I first covered this, but there's this product I get at the store. It's called Crock Bites. They're little, like, squares of old Crock white cheddar cheese or whatever. They are so fucking good, dude. I would kill a man for those things. I mean, I would stick a knife in someone's chest for a single Crock Bite. That's how good they are. And I felt that way for a couple years now. You know why? Because I understand moderation. I could buy as many bags of Crock Bites as I want. I have enough money in my account to purchase 10 whole bags. 10 whole bags of Crock Bites if I wanted to. But I choose to buy like a bag per week or whatever. Now I'm getting them in blocks. So I get like a block of old Crock cheese a week. Because I understand moderation. And that has remained one of my favorite things for a solid 2 years as a result. He does not understand the concept of moderation, and it's one more piece of evidence that he is the dumbest motherfucker I have ever seen in my entire life.
Anyone talking about bragging about the meal they cooked or this ingredient they got or that steak they had, just do, because people do that to me all the time. And I'm just sitting there going, you're poor. Interesting.
Fousey Does Stuff says that shit is like crack for me and my mom, right? It's so good.
Oh, you're broke. Yes, okay. Oh, you went on your birthday and had that steak. Oh, wow. Once a year. Broke talk. Brokies. Real G's. Every day. Minor. Ain't a thing.
It is so fucking stupid, dude. Everything out of this guy's mouth is so fucking stupid. Like, everything Trump does is beta as it gets. He talks about being an alpha male, or people talk about him being an alpha male. In no way, shape, or form is Trump an alpha. He is the weakest clown I've seen in my life. I don't get how these people, like, view the world. There's a fundamental difference between the way that I see the world and the way they see it. I just don't get it. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. Just another L from Andrew Tate. All right, let's see. Timestamps 54 minutes to 1:14. All right, Andrew Tate. Let's see here. What's this? Oh, yeah. Born to Ride Donald Trump. Okay, I hit Jake Lang. I hit Andrew Tate. Let's see. 1 second here. Just pull up my tabs. Close Andrew Tate. Let's see. So I'm processing Aesop's Fables now, and it's on chunk 103 of 313. So it's coming along. The lion and the boar, the one-eyed doe. Perfect. The shepherd in the sea. Anyway, when that's done, I will translate it, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to translate it into all 16 languages that I have listed here: German, Korean, Mandarin, and French, and everything. And then I'm going to assemble like different versions of it. I'll assemble the German learning one, the French learning one, and I'll make them available somewhere. YouTube, Audible, something. One second here. What's the next one? Let's talk about Jehovah's Witnesses real fast and what they're up to. Where's my Jehovah's Witness tab? Shunning. Here we are. So there's something going on with Jehovah's Witnesses in Norway. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but a couple of years ago, they basically lost their status as a religion, and they're fighting in the Supreme Court to get their status as a religion back. And they just said the other day, let me find it. The word shun was invented by apostates. That's what they said. I'm going to play this, but it's in another language, so I'm going to play it real quiet, and I'm going to read the transcript here. It says, I will now comment on different terms being used. Shunning is not a term that Jehovah's Witnesses accept. That's a term those who are against Jehovah's Witnesses use frequently. That's a term apostates use. To shun has the Norwegian translation sky. The state chose to use that word. That is a verb, to shun. But shunning is a I'm sorry. Wait a minute. But shunning as a subject doesn't have any good Norwegian translation. We don't say skying in Norwegian, but in English you can say shunning as a term. So far, so good. But Jehovah's Witnesses don't accept this term. It's a derogatory word that Jehovah's Witnesses wouldn't use. Only others use this term. They're basically saying apostates invented the word shun for Jehovah's Witnesses. The fact is, you can call it whatever you want. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing right now. That's what they've been doing since 1952, basically. So I want to kind of go through a little bit of what's going on with the trial and everything. They lost their status as a religion, which means they have to pay taxes effectively, and they can't legally marry people. They have to have like a judge marry people, like everybody else. In Norway, I was like, what is the country where Norwegian is spoken? It's not Norwegia. What's the name of it? It's Norway. Anyway, in Norway, religions get a subsidy from the state based on how big that religion is. For example, if there are 1 million Catholics in Norwegia or in Norway, then they get like $1 million from the state per year or whatever. I'm just giving an example. Those aren't actual numbers. So Jehovah's Witnesses are no longer receiving that subsidy because they lost their status as a religion. They don't have clergy penitent privilege, basically. Like if somebody tells the clergy about a crime that they committed, then they have no protection. They have to report it to the police, which I think should exist anyway. In editing, I'm going to want to fact check that last one just to make sure that that's accurate. They also lost the ability to marry people. They have to go through a judge. That's what the case determined. And they lost this case in 2021. In 2021, Norway's Ministry of Children and Families revoked Jehovah's Witnesses' registration and state subsidies after receiving a complaint about their shunning practices. The case centers on whether shunning violates children's rights and constitutes negative social control under Norwegian law. The case has been through multiple court levels. In March 2024, the Oslo District Court upheld the state's decision. The Jehovah's Witnesses lost. In March 2025, the Borgarting Court of Appeal unanimously overturned the lower court. And the Supreme Court hearing just concluded on February 9th, 2026. Somebody wrote a tweet basically about the whole thing, explaining everything. Norway versus Jehovah's Witnesses. Here's the footage. JW's lawyer claiming JWs in Watchtower Society never use the word shun, and that apostates invented it. That's the video I just played for you. However, this is like right on their website right here. Be loyal when a relative is disfellowshipped. Watch the video, loyally uphold Jehovah's judgments, shun unrepentant wrongdoers, and then answer the following questions. That's on their website. So they just lied in open court. It's the bottom line. Jehovah's Witnesses falsified information with the intent to deceive the Supreme Court of Norway. It does not get clearer than that. And I remember these videos too. I have these videos in my clip collection where they were encouraging people to shun their daughter. Their daughter had a relationship with an outsider, like a romantic relationship, and they kicked her out of the house and refused to answer the phone for her. Exactly what happened to me, by the way. That exact thing happened to me. I had a girlfriend, and they kicked me out and stopped answering the phone for me. Though various individuals have brought suit, no court has rendered a judgment against Jehovah's Witnesses over their Bible-based practice of shunning. Another one, 1988 Watchtower, April 15th, page 31. Though various individuals have brought suit, no court has rendered a judgment against Jehovah's Witnesses over their Bible-based practice of shunning. It's not my word, it's their word. And they know that. Hang on. I'm just looking here. Here's another one. This one is from Frequently Asked Questions About Jehovah's Witnesses, page 9. It's one of their publications. We do not automatically disfellowship someone who commits a serious sin. If, however, a baptized witness, cat trying to get in, makes a practice of breaking the Bible's moral code and does not repent, he or she will be shunned or disfellowshipped. The Bible clearly states, remove the wicked man from among yourselves. Not for nothing, but the Bible doesn't actually encourage shunning. I mean, I have no investment in this. I couldn't possibly care less if the Bible supports it. The Bible supports a lot of bad shit. I would just say this is wrong. 1 Corinthians 5:13, or more specifically, 1 Corinthians 5, it says, or more broadly, 1 Corinthians 5, it was a letter from Paul to the Corinthian congregation. And Paul, there was a guy who was bragging about sleeping with another dude's mom, if I'm not mistaken, or his sister. I don't remember. He was bragging about it in church, and Paul said, that makes us look really bad. Kick him out of the congregation and have nothing to do with him anymore. Don't even eat dinner with him anymore. No more talking to him. And the Corinthian congregation wrote a letter back to Paul and said, we did what you asked, but this is really fucked up. We don't want to do this anymore. It's hard. It's ugly. No one in the congregation's happy. And this is making us look bad, look even worse than the dude bragging about sleeping with his stepmom. That's what it was. It was his stepmom he was sleeping with. I remember now. This is making us look even worse than a dude sleeping with his stepmom. So we're not doing this anymore. And Paul, in his second letter to the Corinthian congregation, 2 Corinthians, said, what you've done is sufficient. Invite him back in. We're not going to shun. You're right. That was a bad idea. So he reversed course, is the point. The Bible does not support shunning. But Jehovah's Witnesses selectively pick the parts of the Bible that they like. Cherry picking, if you will. I'm just looking. I was just looking for, like, any other info here. The whole infamous shunning video from 2016 was played in court. This means they played the part that demonstrated not only child baptism, but also the expectation of it and the later regret.
Well,
Yes, I remember this video of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mom and Dad were very zealous, and people just assumed that I would follow in their footsteps. And for a while, I did. I was the model child.
I mean, how old is this kid in this video? How old is she? 9? Maybe? 8 even? And they're encouraging her to get baptized. You know why that matters if you're not a Jehovah's Witness? It's because once you're baptized, you are eligible for shunning for the rest of your life. You're not eligible to be shunned if you don't get baptized. So they want to get kids baptized as young as possible to lock them into the religion. 13 is usually about the age where kids get baptized because you have to answer a pretty rigorous set of questions. It's called the 100 questions. That's what they called it when I was in it. And it's basically just affirming that you understand the belief system. You know, who is Jesus in relation to God? Is he his son? Is he God himself? They're not Trinitarians, so they would answer, he's the Son of God. What is God's name? And you have to be able to cite the verse or explain why they believe that. And so you have to answer the 100 questions when you're preparing for baptism. And if you go through that meeting, you'll get baptized. And I did. I got baptized. I went through that meeting and everything, and then disfellowshipped. If I hadn't gone through that meeting, if I hadn't been baptized, my mom would still talk to me. My whole family would still talk to me. I wouldn't have lost 20 years like that, just up in flames. Now, it just so happens that every single person in my family except my mom has left the religion, so I do talk to them now. And my mom has decided she's going to talk to me now too, so there's that. But the point is, I lost decades of relationship with these people. And honestly, on the other side, now that they've left, it's not the same. I was close to those family members, and they cut the thread. They cut the relationship. Now, yeah, it's really nice that they came out of the religion and contacted me and said, hey, I saw your YouTube channel. I love what you're doing. It's great. That's really comforting. I appreciate that. But it's over. It's done. There's nothing left now. I'm not going to talk to my cousin, Bobby, or whatever, every day like I did before. Because the relationship was destroyed. Again, I'm not even blaming him. I'm not blaming my aunt or anybody. I'm not blaming anybody. It's no one's fault. It's Jehovah's Witnesses' fault. Is whose fault it is. But it's not fixable, is the point. They fucked it permanently. That's the point. And that's why Jehovah's Witnesses want children to get baptized as young as humanly possible. They showed this in court. That's really interesting to me.
Well, I did. I was the model child who was always held up as an example.
That was me. I was the first one to get baptized in my congregation.
Sure, the attention boosted my self-confidence, but it also put me under enormous pressure. It was like everyone was watching me, and I couldn't make a mistake.
I didn't feel that way. Everybody wanted to be my friend after I got baptized. Like all the kids in my congregation, their parents were like, go hang out with him. Because I was like, I was a good influence, quote unquote. I wasn't a good influence, actually. But okay.
In my mid-teens, I began to feel torn. I liked the truth, but I felt so confined.
And that's why you don't get baptized at 9 fucking years old. That's why you don't push children to get baptized before they really actually fully understand what they're committing to. If you aren't old enough to get married, which I don't think you should be until 18 at least, you shouldn't be old enough to sign a lifelong contract that honestly is more commitment than marriage, in my opinion. You get a divorce from your wife, you may or may not lose some family members. If you get a divorce from Jehovah's Witnesses through disfellowshipping or whatever, you will lose your family permanently. It's right there in the doctrine. In my opinion, children, it should be illegal. I know that, we have this whole thing where state shouldn't be regulating church and church shouldn't be involved in state. I totally get that. But we have to have a baseline level of expectation. You can't take a 12-year-old onto a mountaintop and sacrifice them to a god. Okay, there are limits. And religions have to operate within the limits of society. And this is one of those limits that, in my opinion, should exist. They're not old enough to sign a contract. They're not old enough to get married. They're not old enough to get a tattoo. They shouldn't be old enough to get baptized, thus signing their life away permanently to this organization. Not until they're 18, in my opinion. I don't give a fuck.
I didn't tell anyone how I felt. I just pretended everything was all right and went through the motions.
That's what happens. And Jehovah's Witnesses know that. That's why they want you baptized before you hit your teens, so that you're locked in. So you have more incentive to stay. It's manipulative and wrong. Anyway, that's Jehovah's Witnesses, and that's the situation with the trial. Hold on, let me write this down. 114. Let me see if I have 131. Let's just read this Facebook post. Jehovah's Witnesses and Biblical Discussion Group. Here's a breakdown of the controversial claims that have sparked outrage. The "we don't use the word shun" claim. The lawyer reportedly argued that shunning is a term used by critics, not the organization itself. The reality: the state countered this by playing a 2016 convention video titled "Loyally Uphold Jehovah's Judgments, Shun Unrepentant Wrongdoers." Let's see if I can find that. They didn't change it. They changed the name. Oh my God. No, they didn't change the name. Check this out. They've got the same name. Watch the video. Loyally uphold Jehovah's judgments, shun unrepentant wrongdoers. Wait, did they? Yeah, they... Wait, I can't tell. It's not taking me to the right video. Hang on. The video has been deleted from jw.org. It was deleted from jw.org. Why does that not surprise me? They didn't rename it. They just deleted it. Gotta love it. But thank you to the Wayback Machine for keeping track of absolutely everything. The Wayback Machine is simply the shit, right? Hold on. Let me pull this up. I'm really hoping it loads. Wait. Can I download it?
It feels...
Wait, did it work? Am I downloading it? Oh God. Look at this video, the last video I downloaded. I think I got it. Oh, that's fantastic. Give me a second here. This was in my download history. Kid Rock.
The Olsen twins.
Why is every guy in America waiting for these chicks to turn 18? I mean, you know what I say? There's grass on the field. Play ball!
Well, we know who else's name might be in the Epstein files. I used to hear that phrase all the time. What a fucked up phrase, right? Have you guys heard that shit before? How whacked out is that? That is literally just a pedophilic term. Is he a diddler? Yes, I would say he is, based on that. That was his Saturday Night Live appearance. Vile, dude. Okay, let me see if I grabbed that video. Yes. Yes! Oh, fantastic. Okay, let me title it. Loyally uphold Jehovah's judgments, shun unrepentant wrongdoers. Jehovah's Witnesses video on shunning deleted from their website. And when did this video come out? Hold on. Let's see. I'm sorry. Just a second here. 2016 convention. So July 1st. 2016 01. No, 07 01. There we are. Anyway, the point is that Jehovah's Witnesses are lying hypocrites that know that they're lying, know that they're falsifying information, and they're doing it intentionally to deceive people. And I don't see how they think that that's not a sin. I don't get the line of logic here. That is very clearly a sin, right? To lie in open court. Not only is it a sin, it's a crime. Isn't that perjury? I'm not sure how Norwegian legal system, litigates that or handles perjury or whatever. But lying under oath in open court is a pretty big fucking deal. Tell me what you think in the comments. And stick around because I want to watch that video, that shunning video. I just got the whole thing. Okay. I snagged it. It's 9 minutes long, and we're going to watch it next. Give it a second. It's processing, analyzing, transcribing. Hold on. I could have turned that off forever ago, but I just love that song. Okay. It's the stock song on my soundboard. Jehovah's Witnesses released this video titled Loyally Uphold Jehovah's Judgments, Shun Unrepentant Wrongdoers. This came out in 2016, but they just claimed in open court in Norway that they don't shun, they don't use the word shunning, and that apostates have slandered them by using that term to describe what they do. Kind of weird that they released a video 10 years ago titled Shun Unrepentant Wrongdoers. Oopsie daisy. Just picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies on that one. Anyway, I want to watch the video about shunning unrepentant wrongdoers and see what they had to say for themselves. Check this out.
It feels so good to be with my family and friends. When I'm with the brothers and sisters in our congregation, it's the best place I could be. My children and I are so happy now. But it hasn't always been this way. My parents were missionaries when my mom got pregnant with me. Mom and Dad were very zealous, and people just assumed that I would follow in their footsteps. And for a while, I did. I was the model child who was always held up as an example. Sure, the attention boosted my self-confidence, but it also put me under enormous pressure.
Look at what age they're portraying her as here. This has got to be 8, 9 years old, right? I covered this in another video, so I'm not going to like go through it again, but just to kind of catch you up if you didn't see it. They do this intentionally to lock people in through their teenage years. If you don't get baptized, you don't get shunned. They want you to get baptized at 8 or 9 years old, even younger, ideally, 7, so that you can't escape, so that you are forced to stay in the religion because they have because if you as a child get disfellowshipped, they instruct the parents to limit their contact with you even when you live in the same household. I talked about this in my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, Amazon and Audible, if you want to find it. But Jehovah's Witnesses have written about how you treat a child who is disfellowshipped. You can't eat dinner with them. They have to eat dinner in their room. You don't discuss spiritual matters and a whole big list of things that you can't say or do with your kid. But the reality of it, you know, when the rubber meets the road, is they will try to get rid of the kid. They'll see if a family member will take them or something. That's how it usually plays out in reality. If a kid gets disfellowshipped, say they get baptized at 8, which happens, and they get disfellowshipped at 12 because they don't believe it anymore, because they have a girlfriend in school or whatever. They get disfellowshipped at 12. They lose everything at 12. They lose the love of their parents above anything else, the love and respect and admiration and care and everything of their parent. That's something nobody should ever go through, certainly not at 12 years old. I was 18 when I lost everything, and it was hard enough. I mean, there are people who were 50 years old when they lost everything, their parents, their spouse, their children, their everybody. And it's too much for an adult, let alone a 12-year-old. That's why they're portraying her this way, because they're encouraging children at 8 to lock themselves into a lifelong decision. It should be illegal to get a kid baptized with consequences this high if they fuck up. It should be illegal to sign them into this or to lock them into this religion for the rest of their lives. If they're not old enough to sign a contract, if they're not old enough to get a tattoo or to get married, they shouldn't be considered old enough to get baptized, effectively marrying themselves to the organization. It's wrong.
It was like everyone was watching me, and I couldn't make a mistake. In my mid-teens, I began to feel torn. I liked the truth, but I felt so confined.
You notice use of the word or the term the truth there? That's what they call it, the truth. It's not the truth. It's nothing but lies all the way down, as we saw recently in the Norway court.
I didn't tell anyone how I felt. I just pretended everything was all right and went through the motions. I envied kids who didn't have to live under so many restrictions. And if they got the truth later in life, they got to experience the best of both worlds. I thought maybe things would improve after I graduated high school. But then at my new job, I met Eric. He truly understood me.
And you can tell he's not a Jehovah's Witness because he has some facial hair here. Of course, it's okay to have facial hair among Jehovah's Witnesses now. As of like, I don't know, a year ago or something, they made that okay. But they're making the point that he's not of the faith, if you will.
Eric. He truly understood me. He made me feel special. And I loved him.
So I've seen this, so I know what they're going to do. They're going to show him breaking her heart, and now she's lost everything for nothing, like for no reason. But, you know, in effect, if this does go well, this relationship, Jehovah's Witnesses are forcing her, because of a decision she made at 8 years old, forcing her to choose between her family and her new husband. Why are they forcing you to make that choice? This is a false choice. It shouldn't even exist. By the by, it's almost as if they need witnesses it's almost as if they needed witnesses to their cover-up or something, right? Also, reading has value beyond the acquisition of knowledge from a particular book. It increases your cognitive skills, neuroplasticity, and empathy. It does many other great things for the brain, too. Thank you, Owen, for all the great work. I appreciate that. However, I simply disagree. In my personal opinion, I think that reading is for idiots. Just kidding. I'm turning into Andrew Tate over here. One step at a time. My brain's too big for books. Like, I can't fit more knowledge in there. I can't read books or my brain would just explode. Anyway, let's continue.
I loved him.
Thus portraying him as having broken her heart.
In many ways, I felt free. For the first time in my life, I could just do what I wanted.
You know, Jehovah's Witnesses are very restrictive. It's not fun to be a Jehovah's Witness. It's difficult. It's a lot of work. It's miserable.
It wasn't long before our relationship became intimate.
Go on. You have my attention.
I felt guilt at first. But after a while, it just seemed that this is what two people who love each other do. And I was willing to give up everything for him. Everything.
You shouldn't have to make this choice. This should not be a choice in your mind. It's a fictitious, fabricated, fake choice that Jehovah's Witnesses forced on her. You can't just live your fucking life.
Looking back, my parents tried hard to do the right thing. To do things Jehovah's way. But because I didn't have a hatred for what's bad, I couldn't see anything wrong with my choices. This eventually led me to do things I later regretted. I ended up getting disfellowshipped.
Sonia Erickson has been disfellowshipped.
Same shit happened to me. Owen Morgan has been disfellowshipped.
It crushed my whole family.
Again, this is not her fault, nor is it the family's fault. It's Jehovah's Witnesses' fault. The organization. That nobody should be placed in this situation. It's a false problem they've created.
Okay, to continue the meeting, we may remember last month's.
Later, my father explained to me that I couldn't remain in the home because I refused to change my lifestyle. He told me I was having a negative effect on my younger brother and sister. And I'm out of this house.
Even though they said that the father kicked her out, they were portraying it as though she left willingly. Like she stood up and threw a fit and said, "Then I'm leaving." That's what he told her. They are always the victims, even when they're the perpetrators.
I was determined to do what I wanted. When I left home that day, all I could think about was Eric. I didn't even care that my parents' hearts were breaking.
How fucked up is this, dude? I went through this exact thing personally myself. I experienced this. I lost my entire family, everybody. My aunt, my cousins, my siblings, my 2 brothers and sister, my mom, my dad. I lost everything. And I didn't talk to them for years.
I didn't think about the devastation and disappointment that I had caused them.
That she had caused them by living her own life.
I blamed my parents for my situation. I even blamed Jehovah. My family missed me so much, even after all I had done. What helped them to remain loyal to Jehovah for the many years I was disfellowshipped? It was the Bible account of Aaron. Jehovah directly judged 2 of Aaron's sons and put them to death. In this case, Jehovah asked Aaron and his family not to mourn, in order to show the entire nation that they supported Jehovah's judgment. Mom and Dad saw that they needed to be loyal, just like Aaron. They loved me and wanted me to come back to Jehovah.
Wow, old school phone, a Razor. I remember those. You guys remember those phones? They're portraying her parents as not answering the phone for their own kid. She obviously needed help. She needed something. She needed them for something, right? And they're not even answering the phone. Exact same shit happened to me. And happens to who knows how many others. Every single day. Today, now. They claimed they gave up shunning. They claim that this is a word apostates invented. They're still doing it. My mom has chosen to speak to me. This is new. This is not, and this is new and it's novel. This is not widespread in the organization. They have not stopped shunning people.
Come back to Jehovah. I tried to contact them. I just wanted to talk and to hear their voice. I missed being with my family. And they thought about reaching out to me. But they knew that if they had associated with me, even a little, just to check on me, that small dose of association might have satisfied me.
That small dose of association. How fucked up is this, dude?
It could have made me think that there was no need to return to Jehovah.
So the only reason you have to return to Jehovah is so that you're not alone, so that you have your family. You know, they can't lock you into a prison of your mind. I'm sorry. They can't lock you into a physical prison. Obviously, that's illegal. They don't have the jurisdiction or the right to lock you in a prison. So they lock you in a prison of your own mind. They lock you out of your family relationships. I can't tell you how many families have been destroyed by Jehovah's Witnesses, intentionally, knowingly, instructing people like this video, to shun their family members.
I was disfellowshipped for more than 15 years. I had 2 children now, and as time went by, I thought about their future. I thought more and more about returning to Jehovah in the congregation, but I didn't feel worthy.
Psalm 86.
One day, 2 elders stopped by and kindly reminded me that Jehovah wants me to return to him. They showed me Psalm 86, verse 5.
Wait, what's this called? This is called a, they have a name for this meeting. I forget, but like once a year, the elders will contact disfellowship people and they'll ask them if they want to come back. Now, coming back involves going to meetings and studying your literature, like going through their magazine that they read every week. And in the magazine, they have a paragraph and then they have a question in it that you're supposed to highlight the answer in. Let me show you. Just ignore this picture of Forgiato Blow with a shirt that says "Born to Ride Donald J. Trump." Hold on. Let me just find library magazines. The Watchtower, December 2025. Study article 48. Here's an example of the Watchtower magazine. So they have these magazines that they study each week. Like at the Kingdom Hall on Sunday morning, they give a 50-minute monologue, basically, and then they sing a song, and then they do their Watchtower study. So they'll have somebody on stage who reads the paragraph. The book of Job is a key part of the Bible. Why? For one thing, it clearly reveals a great issue facing all intelligent creation, the sanctification of Jehovah's name. It also teaches us about Jehovah's marvelous qualities, such as his love, wisdom, justice, and power. For example, the book of Job refers to Jehovah as the Almighty 31 times, more than the rest of the scriptures combined. The book of Job also answers many of life's questions, including one that still troubles many. Why does God allow suffering? And then they'll ask the question associated with the paragraph, which is, what are some reasons why the book of Job is worth reading? People in the audience will raise their hand, a few people, usually kids and older people. They will, the conductor will pick somebody out of the audience, they'll bring a microphone to the person, and they'll give an answer right out of the paragraph. It also teaches us about Jehovah's marvelous qualities, such as his love, wisdom, justice, and power. That's something somebody could answer at a meeting. And then they move on to the next paragraph. That's how it works. This is a method of brainwashing. They're telling you the information, and then they are asking you to repeat it back to them. So you have to go through your Watchtower magazine every week with a highlighter and highlight the answer to every one of these questions. That's how it works. And as a disfellowshipped person, you can't answer at the meetings. So you can't even talk to anybody. You're being shunned. So if you want to return, you have to go to the meetings for a year being shunned. At least a year. My brother tried for a minimum of a year and never got it. He kept writing letter after letter after letter to them, basically explaining why he felt he was ready to come back and all of that stuff. And they kept denying him. They kept saying, give it another 6 months, come back to us. But for that entire time, however long it takes, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you have to show up to every single meeting and prove to them that you studied your magazine. You have to show them the magazine with highlighted sections. You have to experience the shunning firsthand before you can come back, is the point. That's part of it.
It says that Jehovah is ready to forgive.
Ready to forgive.
I thought about that verse the rest of the day. Jehovah is ready to forgive. So I decided to go to the Kingdom Hall for the first time in many years.
Remorse is healthy. It can move us to take positive steps to correct our mistakes.
It made me realize just how far off track I had gotten. I was determined to qualify for reinstatement. Nearly a year later, my reinstatement was announced to the congregation.
Sonia Erickson is reinstated as one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
But you have that stain on you forever. You're disfellowshipped. You're never going to be viewed the same ever again. Especially if you come back with tattoos or something, or piercings. You're going to have to take those piercings out. You got to cover the tattoos when you come to meetings. But people are going to know that you're just not as good as them for the rest of your life. And note, look what's happening. She's sitting in the back, and her parents are in a completely different location in the Kingdom Hall. You cannot sit with your parents. When you're going through the process of getting reinstated, you have to be isolated the whole time. You can't even sit next to people you know.
Is one of Jehovah's Witnesses.
I was so happy.
Dude, those poor children. They don't have a shot.
The brothers and sisters welcomed me very warmly. Being back together again with my family and Jehovah made me feel so good. I knew this is where I needed to be, and I didn't ever want to leave again.
This is the first time her parents have spoken to her in how long? Years, certainly, right? Wouldn't even look at her. Last time I went to a meeting, I had nightmares. PTSD-fueled nightmares. Actually, really. Oh, God, there's a cat up here now. I'm sorry, kitty. You're such a good kitty. Oh, she's so good, right? Look at her. Look at how good. Oh, so good. She's such a good... You see how humongous and happy she is all the time? Aw. She loves her little pets. She's gigantic, right? Look at how fucking big she is. She's huge. Her head is almost as big as mine. Jesus. Aw, she's such a good kitty. Anyway, I'm sorry. She interrupted. Go on. Go on, good kitty. What was I saying? Before I was so rudely interrupted by Garfield? Yeah, we should have named her Garfield. Or Normal. Normal would be better. I'm trying to remember.
I needed to be, and I didn't ever want to leave again.
What the hell was I saying? Oh, there's something called RTS, Religious Trauma Syndrome, which is a form of PTSD created by leaving the religion that you were once a part of, or created by being in this religion. For example, this overwhelming fear of hell that creates an anxiety in you that won't go away. You have nightmares about it and everything. That's religious trauma syndrome. It's not just leaving a religion and having a bad experience. It is beyond that. And people exhibit the signs of PTSD. Nightmares, they jump when they hear loud pops, things like that. And I have that. Last time I went to the meeting, I had nightmares for like a year. I went there and I had a best friend named Sean. We did everything together. We used to skateboard in West Virginia. We'd hang out. I'd stay at his house. He'd stay at my house. Just did everything together. And I did not have a good life growing up. My dad was a bad person. Physically dangerous person. And Sean's family knew that and took me in and cared about me. And when I got disfellowshipped, I never spoke to Sean or his parents ever again. But I went to a meeting like, I don't know, years ago. And I sat directly behind Sean's parents. And nobody would look me in the eye. Like they'd walk down the aisle to use the bathroom or whatever, and their eyes would be pointing in a completely different direction from me. Like their head would be turned away from me. Everybody had to shun me. Everybody. It was a mandate. Or they'd be disfellowshipped. So I sat behind Sean. I'm sorry, Sean wasn't there. He went to a different Kingdom Hall at this point. I sat behind Sean's parents who took care of me and cared for me. And after the meeting, I stood up and Sean's dad shook my hand and smiled, but didn't say a word. Didn't say hello, didn't, ask how I'm doing, nothing. He smiled, shook my hand, and his mom and dad both turned around and walked out, and I never saw them again. This religion is poison. And even more poisonous than their rules, they are lying in open court so that they can get funding from the Norwegian government and continue to shun people, continue to ruin people's lives. In recent years, I've come to realize or suspect that Sean's parents actually they told him to hang out with me. I think his parents told him to hang out with me because I was baptized. I'm not sure we had good times. We had good times. I don't believe he would have hung out with me if I hadn't been baptized. Just because he not that it would have been wrong, it wouldn't have been. I don't know that he was interested in being my friend. I think his parents pushed him to be my friend because I was baptized and they wanted me to rub off on him. He's still in the religion to this day. I messaged him a few years ago on Facebook, and yeah, I talked to him for a minute, but that was about it. He didn't seem really interested in talking to me, so I haven't tried since. The point is that this religion ruins lives permanently. This religion ruins lives. It's wrong.
But when I'm alone, I struggle with whether Jehovah has really forgiven me. One time I was so distraught that I called my father for help. He comforted me with the words of Isaiah 1 verse 18, where Jehovah says that our sins, which are like scarlet or crimson cloth, can become white like snow. Then my father related the Bible account of Manasseh. Manasseh did on a grand scale what was bad in Jehovah's eyes to offend him. He even sacrificed his sons in false worship. Eventually, Manasseh genuinely repented, and Jehovah forgave him. This Bible account touched me deeply. Now, I have to be willing to forgive myself. If Jehovah was willing to forgive the sins of Manasseh, as bad as they were, surely he has forgiven me. What a blessing to understand that Jehovah forgives in a large way. And now, I'm truly happy.
She's not truly happy. I know from personal experience how hard it is to be a Jehovah's Witness. I know what's involved. I know what it's like to have to study your literature every single week and go to all of the meetings. There are a minimum of 2 per week. There used to be 3, but they combined them, I think. So now you're going to meetings for 2 or 3 hours twice a week, I believe. Just burning up what little time you have in your life for nothing. Like, what are you even gaining by being a Jehovah's Witness? Nothing. If you want to have a relationship with God, you don't need to follow all of these ridiculous bullshit rules, half of which are made up by Jehovah's Witnesses that aren't even in the Bible, or that the Bible reversed a chapter later, like shunning. That's not in the Bible. That's not a biblical position. Anyway, that was the video. That was their famous disfellowshipping or their shunning video, even named shunning in the title. You're just sick stuff, man. Tell me what you think in the comments. All right, let me write this down. Shunning 210 on the button. Nice. So we got 1, 2, 3 tabs. I'm going to keep this open for a while. This Born to Ride Donald J. Trump thing. I'm just looking here. All right, let's talk about Mike Lindell. Hold on. Hold the phone. All right, Lindell, here we are. And then maybe the anti-trans teacher. 1 second. Lindell, here we are. All right. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Mike Lindell is running for governor of Minnesota. I seriously do not think he has a snowball's chance in hell, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's... God, look, he's standing in front of a phone camera. I'll stand for you, Mike Lindell for governor. LindellGov.com. Wait. MikeLindellGov.com. Is that what it is? Yes, it is. Mike Lindell for governor. MikeLindellGov.com. It's official. I'll stand for you.
Already know me. You know that I was a crack cocaine addict along with many other addictions. And you also know that by the grace of God that I overcame my addiction to drugs on January 16, 2009.
You could have fooled me with all the insane shit that he says and does. Yeah, let me see if I can save this. Mike Lindell announces he's running for governor. 26. Hold up. I'm sorry. Let me save this video. 1 second. Just want to run analysis, transcribe, apply to the queue, process all, clear completed. Give it a second here. It's working. 1 second. All right, now it's doing an AI analysis. 34 seconds, 27. It's working on it. 27 seconds, 22 seconds. Cats keep trying to get in and then out and in and out and in and out. 17 seconds. Oh my God, dude. There it is. Okay. Open. Or not. All right. Rename. Mike Lindell in Minnesota governor race, targeting fraud and incompetence. Okay. Let's open it. Here we go.
Many of you already know me. You know that I was a crack cocaine addict along with many other addictions. And you also know that by the grace of God that I overcame my addiction to drugs on January 16, 2009. You also know that I founded the Lindell Recovery Network to help others overcome their addictions.
Lindell Recovery Network is trash. You should never, ever use it. They're trying to force people to come to Jesus as a solution to drug use. That's not a solution to drug use. You need to get secular therapy.
You know that I founded the amazing, successful company, My Pillow. You know that My
Is that why you're bankrupt?
Pillow and myself have spent millions providing aid to hurricane victims, flood victims, fire victims, struggling inner cities, and of course those struggling with drug addiction. I was the media darling. They'd say, Mike, how many former addicts are you hiring? How many veterans are you hiring? And they would say, wow, your company, you're the American dream on steroids. And then in the summer of 2016, I met Donald Trump on August 15, 2016 in a divine appointment. He reached out to me to discuss how...
So what is going on with his voice? He sounds like he's got a cold or something.
You know, My Pillow, how is it making all your products here in the USA? And from that point on, the media turned on me. Of course, you all know the story. They've attacked me ever since. You also know that on February 18th, 2017, I gave my life to Jesus Christ. I had a few months later, I went on to lead over 50,000 people in prayer at US Bank Stadium. I thought that was going to be my only calling, leading people to Jesus Christ. I had never voted. I didn't think politics mattered. Then along came the 2020 election. And you all know that I have been relentless in making people aware of the fraud in our elections. You know that others have used lawfare to tear me down because of my efforts.
You know, lawfare is a real thing that happens in dictatorships. They use the legal system against their political enemies. Mike Lindell has not been a victim of lawfare. Give it a fucking rest.
Our own federal government.
They're constant victims, dude. Like, everything that they say and do revolves around being a victim of the system. Drives me nuts.
Have used lawfare to tear me down because of my efforts. Our own federal government under Joe Biden launched Operation Arctic Frost to target me and others who wanted to secure our elections. They tried to take away my voice. They targeted my banks. They targeted
Okay, who is they? Are they in the room with us right now?
my suppliers. They even took my phone, and I run my entire business on enterprise.
Okay, I know that one. That one is the FBI. They took his phone because, oh, there's this whole big winding thing that happened. I don't know if you heard about this, but like in 2020, there was a county clerk of Mesa County, Arizona, I think, named Tina Peters, who is responsible for handling the elections. Like, that's a county clerk's job. And she's a Trump nutcase. She stole voter data. Dude, the cats cannot help themselves but to open the door over and over and over again. I don't know why they keep doing this. Anyway, Mesa County. So Tina Peters stole voter data and provided it to Mike Lindell. In 2020, you may remember, if you ran in the Trump circles, you may remember a big list of dead voters that came out. That wasn't a list of dead voters. That was a list of voters. BBC went around to all of the people on the list and knocked on their door and said, "Are you dead?" And they said, "No." And they said, "Did you vote?" And they said, "Yes." And they said, "Okay, case closed." This is not an example of a dead voter. That list got out because Tina Peters gave it to Mike Lindell, who circulated it. That's what happened. All right, hang on 1 second. Sorry, I had to shut the door because the cats keep opening it. Anyway, so the point is,
My suppliers, they even took my phone.
The point is they took his phone because he was part of a federal investigation into election interference. He interfered with the election by stealing or by retrieving stolen voter data. They did the same to a guy named Doug Frank. He was involved in this whole thing. He's a physicist and a complete piece of shit.
And I run my entire business on enterprise off my phone.
Maybe try not stealing private voter data or retrieving stolen voter data. Try that. Maybe that will have better results and you won't have your phone taken. You know, I've never in my life had my phone taken by the FBI for retrieving stolen voter data. Believe it or not. That's never happened to me. Has that happened to you guys? I mean, it seems to me if you don't want your phone to be taken by the FBI, you don't retrieve stolen voter data.
Didn't just attack me, they also went after my employee-owned company, My Pillow. Well, it didn't work. I'm still standing. My Pillow is still standing.
Barely, actually, but okay.
And now I want you to know that I will stand for you as the next governor of the state of Minnesota. I will stand for you against the rampant fraud under Governor Walz. I will stand with you against the crime that threatens the safety of you and your families. I will stand for you against government-sponsored theft of your livelihood via exploding property taxes, excessive fees, and unfair sales tax. I'll stand for you against unnecessary regulations that strangle the entrepreneurial spirit. I will stand for businesses of all sizes, small, medium, large, doesn't matter. We need to defend those who provide our citizens with the jobs that they need so we can, in turn, take care of our families. I will stand for those of you that are struggling with addiction. I will stand for you by making Minnesota's education system one of the best in the nation.
And how is he going to do that, I wonder? By making it all Jesusified? By Christianifying the whole thing? No, thank you, sir.
I am not alone in standing for you. I've never been alone. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, has been standing beside me all the way. Through the good times and the bad, he's never let me down. And with God's grace, I will never let you down either. Those who know me, they know I'm up to the task. I've had my finger on my pulse of my business operations, and we've all heard of the rampant fraud that occurred on the watch of Tim Walz.
Okay, the fraud that he's talking about, let me just verify this. Hold on. Hold on. So Tim Walz was inaugurated as governor in 2019. There's a Feeding Our Future fraud from 2020 to 2022. And those people, including the white woman who ran the organization, were charged, convicted, and sentenced, and have been in prison for a while now. Like, this is old news that they're digging up now in an effort to smear Democrats, and Tim Walz particularly. So the fraud stuff is bullshit invented by Republicans. And Tim Walz, it was caught under Tim Walz and then prosecuted under Tim Walz and Biden and ended under them. So I don't know what he's going on about here.
Either he was grossly negligent, incompetent, or complicit with the fraud. The governor is the chief.
Oh, now he's guilty of fraud. Now he's involved in it. I see.
Executive of the state. He is responsible for the integrity of government operations under his authority. Everyone who knows me knows that I micromanage and macromanage my companies. I work tirelessly in making sure that we remove blocks and achieve our objectives. What does Tim Walz know about the operation of Minnesota's government programs? We know that over $1 billion in fraud under his watch.
That's a lie. It was $250 million, not $1 billion. The number keeps going up. I'm surprised he cited the 1 billion figure because now they're saying it's 9 billion. It's all nonsense. It was 250 million. And it's been adjudicated and litigated years ago.
Has already been found. Whistleblowers from within Minnesota indicate that fraud may reach as high as $8 billion.
You're bullshit. Also, Tim Walz isn't even running. So why are you talking about this exactly? I think Amy Klobuchar is running, and I think that she's probably the best person to run. Not because I like her that much. I don't really like her that much, but whatever. It's because she's very well known. She's not a nobody. And I think that we need somebody with an existing public reputation right now to step in. If there's a progressive, I would vote for them over Klobuchar any day of the week. But it's useful for her to be running, I think.
The entire fiscal year of Minnesota's budget in 2025 is $59 billion. The price of our state government has been inflated due to this fraud. This means that families are paying too much for government. Families have been taken advantage of, and others have not been taken care of.
That's true. That's because of Republicans, not because of fraud. Again, it was $250 million, not $9 billion.
This means that businesses are drained of all the financial resources they need to hire new employees, to invest in new products, and to modernize existing operations.
I'm sorry, how you figure? So there's $250 million in fraud from the state budget's $59 million deficit. And that means businesses can't... What? What does that have to do with private businesses? I'm lost.
When it was leaked to the media that I was filing to run for governor of Minnesota, right here, that leak, the media pundits were quick to make comments like, what does Mike know about being a politician? Let me be clear, I don't want to be like a politician. It's professional politicians that have gotten us into all this trouble. Over the last 5 years, I've traveled all across this country to speak with politicians about election fraud.
Dude, I'm honestly surprised that Mike Lindell didn't go to prison for his role in January 6th. He flew the insurrectionists around in his jet and, like, helped organize the whole thing. How did he get out of that? Is it because he's high profile? I don't know. By the way, somebody in the comments mentioned this video. I don't know if you guys remember this. This is the time Mike Lindell was absolutely emotionally destroyed in a debate by a 12-year-old.
Mike Lindell just got rolled by a 12-year-old. Amazing, amazing work.
Nope, it's this one.
Oh, you are.
He went to the RNC as not Mike Lindell. He shaved his mustache and put on a hat and stupid sunglasses. I forgot about that, dude. That's so funny.
You go to paper ballots and come.
Ask him what proof he has in the spirit. Why? How do you know?
Which election are you talking about?
There was one.
No. There was one down in Georgia, 3 Democrats.
I'm from Georgia.
Okay, there's 3 Democrats in Georgia in the summer of 22. She's a good friend of mine. She got 0 votes in her own precinct.
Who is it?
So, Brenda, I'm not telling you her last name on your stuff.
I see.
She was, I'm sorry. The thing that he's referring to, this woman got 0 votes. It was an error in the systems that was caught and corrected. And it was nobody's fault. It wasn't like there was malfeasance or whatever. It was just an error in the system. That's it. They caught it. They fixed it. That was the end of the story. It's not some big plot to destroy Republicans or some shit.
But you see, but let me tell you, no proof. They looked into it in Georgia.
Okay.
Crooked Brad Rasmussen, your Republican Secretary of State,
okay.
He looked into it and said, oh, it was a computer error.
It was a computer error.
Her back her vote, she went from 3rd to 1st. She's a friend of mine.
No, I think she was a Democrat, actually. It's been a while since I looked into it. He's completely full of shit.
Democrat, 4 counties over in Georgia. She got 4,600
But where's the
votes,
proof?
but she wasn't on the ballot.
You want me to take your word for it, right?
No. This was in the paper.
So what's her last name? She's an elected official.
Okay, let me tell you. In Georgia, I will tell you, an Obama-appointed judge last fall, this case has been going on 3.5 years. Alex Halderman, this is in your state. So
God, he is such a mess, dude. Like, the guy, his head is just chaos. It's just all chaos all the time with Mike Lindell.
I've come to the conclusion that the vast majority of politicians are not concerned with our best interests.
No fucking shit. And whose fault is that? Who is to blame? Which party is worse about not giving a fuck about the people of the country and how they're doing?
Concerned with special interests, including their own self-interest. Many have hidden agendas that don't help any of us, and usually they're evil agendas. I want to be a leader, not a politician. I want to solve problems, not create problems. This is what I do. I solve problems. That's what I've always done. I've lived the American dream on steroids, solving one problem after another on the path to success. The role of government is to secure the rights of the governed. As a citizen and a business leader, I've already been working towards that end. I've been working to secure our voice at the voting booth against powerful enemies. These enemies don't care what you have to say. I do.
Siri, turn on living room lights. Everything turned off. Actually, I look really cool with the lights off. Okay, no more lights off. Let's continue.
These enemies don't care what you have to say. I do. They want to silence our voices. I put everything on the line to preserve it.
Well, Mike Lindell cares about what MAGA has to say, not about what the people have to say. The people have spoken. They want ICE to get the fuck out of their state, out of Minnesota. That's clear as day. Couldn't possibly be clearer. And Mike Lindell is not listening to that. He wants more ICE. He's not listening to the people. He's listening to MAGA, to Trump.
As the next governor of Minnesota, I will stand for your rights. Together, we will restore respect for law and order. If you are here illegally, now's the time to leave, or you're going to be sent back where you came from. If you're stealing...
Yeah, that's representing the people.
From Minnesota taxpayers, you need to be put in prison. If you're committed to increasing the tax burden on Minnesotans, you need to find a different line of work. We need to stop the explosion of property taxes. We need to stop excessive fees. We need to stop penalizing the brick and mortar business.
Well, you know, we were doing that with the CFPB, stop penalizing and charging fees and things like that. We were doing that with the CFPB. And then Donald Trump, Donald Trump through Elon Musk erased the CFPB. It no longer exists, even though it was created by Congress, not by the executive branch, and thus they had no right to shut it down. They went in there and forced their way into the building and shut it down, fired people, and locked them out. So, you know, there's that. God, the first 6 months of this administration, looking back, were absolutely insane. They're not doing this type of thing now, but they literally, like Doge, Elon Musk, and armed men walked into a building created by Congress, not by the executive branch, with weapons, forced their way in, and kicked out people who were put in those places by Congress. That is wild to think about looking back. This whole administration is going to pay. Legally. Everybody all the way up and down the chain. I don't know that we're going to get Donald Trump in prison. Probably not. But everybody else, every other single person is going to federal prison for what they've done. I can't believe Mike Lindell hasn't already gone.
Businesses that provide jobs for our families. We need to ensure that our parents and teachers are empowered with the ability to choose the best education options for our kids. In short, we need to make government more about your needs and about your quality of life rather than the needs of those who crave the power to tell us how to live our lives. This means that you need a voice. They've tried to take away my voice. They tried to take away your voice. We can't let this happen again. That's why I'm standing for you. I'm standing for all of our God-given rights.
Again, he's standing for MAGA.
The right to life, the right to liberty, the right to pursue happiness. The purpose of government is to secure these rights. Governor...
Well, no, it's not, actually. The purpose of the Constitution, which he cited the Declaration of Independence, I believe, not the Constitution. But the Constitution is a permission slip, a list of things government is not allowed to do. They are not allowed to take away your freedom of speech, not allowed to infringe on your right against unreasonable search and seizure. It's not, government does not have the right to do these things. He's framing it in a weird way here.
Walt and his supporters have instead been stealing these rights. This fraud needs to end now. If you will stand with me as the next governor of Minnesota, our future will be amazing.
God help us all. Anyway, Lindell has basically no chance of winning. But something I found kind of interesting is that he's been hanging around with someone named Lauren Witzke. She's a white nationalist and an extremist. Hang on, I have a picture over here. Wait. Here. A full house. This is Lauren Witzke's Twitter. A full house and a sold-out ballroom at Mike Lindell's fundraiser for Minnesota governor at Mar-a-Lago tonight. Onward to victory. She was famously, I believe, a drug mule who was carrying large amounts of drugs across the border. I haven't looked into this in a while, so you're going to want to look this up to be sure. But she got clean, allegedly, and ran for Congress and lost. Thank fuck, because she is insane. She is taking pictures with Mike Lindell and hanging around with him at Mar-a-Lago. So let me just tell you how insane she is. Listen to this one.
It's just time for a theocratic monarchy. King Trump for life. Let's go. Hey, I think if we had a monarchy, there'd be a lot less corruption because you can't be bought. You know, you don't have to be bought because you're always in control. You don't have to be paid for with campaign cash because you're always going to be in control and you're going to pass it on to your children and that kind of thing, especially if they do bloodlines. But
especially if they do bloodlines. Bloodlines are apparently a good thing in her mind. Literally the antithesis of what this country stands for and what it was created on. She literally wants a monarchy. King Trump.
Very interesting stuff. Just a suggestion. Doesn't sound too terrible.
It's worked throughout the majority of history, and King Jesus. Yep. Remember, our Lord believes in the theocratic, the monarchical structure.
These people are fucking broken inside. It gets even worse than that, believe it or not.
She was right. I don't think it's any coincidence. White Christian males.
Here you go. Here's another good one right here with Lauren Witzke.
White Christian males or white straight males are the most persecuted class demographic in the United States of America right now.
White Christian males, the most persecuted.
Now, especially in the workforce. The anti-white system that advocates for us, like people like us, to not have a voice, to not have any rights, like kind of considering us.
Who the fuck is advocating for white people to not have a voice and or any rights? What is she smoking?
Like second-class citizens
or smuggling.
Don't deserve rights is what they kind of try to treat us as. They think that the system, the anti-white system, is going to spare them too, and it is not. This anti-white system, it's coming for all of us. People are starting to notice more and more that every commercial is trying to push some kind of degeneracy on you, something anti-white on you if you don't notice.
Commercials? Let me guess. I'm going to guess. The green M&M not being sexy anymore is an anti-white dog whistle. Is that it?
If you haven't noticed, I mean, everybody's starting to notice. It's all part of a giant humiliation ritual. That's what it was when they took down our historical monuments. It was a humiliation ritual.
Okay, first of all, who the fuck is they in this context? Are they in the room with us right now? And second, which monuments were taken down specifically? I remember people talking about taking down some statues of slaveholders that were put up during Jim Crow era to intimidate the black community. I'm talking in the past 100 years. And there being outcry from the right. And they basically threw a fit until people chose not to take the statues down. That's what I remember. I know there was one statue that was not taken down but moved in New York City. I believe from in front of the city hall to a museum. I believe that's what they did with it. Thomas Jefferson, maybe? I'm not sure. They moved it elsewhere. That's not taking it down. Some humiliation ritual? Like what?
Oh, your heritage, everything you're proud of, we're going to give it away and hand it over to these animals and let them take it, tear it down, vandalize it right in front of you, and we're not going to do anything about it. You know, that's what it is. It's meant to demoralize you as a person.
Jesus Christ, the psychosis, dude, is off the scales. She is absolutely unglued from reality, seriously. Here's another one from Lauren Witzke. Again, this is a friend of Mike Lindell.
There is a war on Christians. They did this, they targeted me, and they made an example out of me because I'm an outspoken Christian.
This is on Alex Jones. And I believe that she is a domestic terrorist. And Wells Fargo chose not to work with her anymore. They kicked her out of their bank, basically, because they didn't want to deal with the litigation that would inevitably follow her wherever she went, because she's a domestic terrorist, in my opinion.
Who vocally opposes the Equality Act. Listen, Alex, I don't know if you know much about it, but they're trying to illegalize Jesus Christ and the scripture and categorize
absolutely,
it as
just like in Europe and Canada, where they're
give it a fucking rest, dude. So this is 6 months into Joe Biden's administration. This is July 2021. And she says they're about to illegalize Christianity. When this bullshit never happens, do you think that ever crosses their mind, like, you know what, maybe I was wrong about that? Or do you think they just keep on soaring along like nothing happened? Is there anything between those ears, or is it just air?
Where they're arresting pastors. Tell folks about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So what it will do is it will classify scripture, belief in traditional marriage as hate speech. If an abortionist wants to make the decision to not perform an abortion, they can arrest that abortionist or
That's not true. That's a lie. Literally everything that she said here is fabricated from the ether. This was never even on the table. Nobody was ever fighting for this. Nobody ever wanted to do it. But it's like, this isn't even that odd. Certainly not for Alex Jones or for Fox News. The stuff that she's saying right now comes out of those two places nonstop. We live in a totally separate reality from MAGA by design. The outlets that are spewing MAGA trash are painting an absolutely insane picture of the world that is completely fictitious.
that doctor or that nurse that chooses to take the biblical approach and change their lives. Children who struggle with gender identity, now it's going to make them illegal for them to pursue therapy to change their mind.
That's a lie. Like, it's just lie after lie after lie with these people.
And this is, I mean, it's absolutely an attack.
It's basically the cult trying to make it illegal to leave the cult.
Yes, exactly. And even just quoting scripture will be classified as hate speech.
No. Do they have any idea how many Christians there are on the left? I believe that Christianity is still, it's certainly still the dominant religion by far in the United States.
Is what it is going to do. It is going to make Christianity a crime on a federal level. We cannot allow this to go any further. We're going to lose everything. If we give our enemy an inch, he's going to take the whole thing. As you've seen, Alex, you've watched as this slow fade has happened, and we have allowed it to happen. And it's gotten to the point now where we're all going to end up in Kamala's gulags unless we all stand up together and fight back.
Okay, well, that never happened. Again, this is from 2021, 6 months into Biden's presidency. And none of this shit happened. Literally not one thing. Can I call this a false prophecy? I'm thinking I'm going to rename this video. I have a giant list. Like, every time I come across a false prophecy, I label it as such in my clips collection. I literally have 6,000 clips that I've gathered over the years from 2018 or so. Hold on, I'm sorry. Rename. Prophecy fail. Absolutely insane, dude.
As Christians.
There is nothing left in these people's minds but nonsense. It's nonsense all the way down. and Mike Lindell is taking pictures with her. White nationalist Lauren Witzke. Insane. Again, I doubt he has a shot in hell of becoming governor. But the fact that this is normal and okay, the fact that he hasn't been completely blackballed from democracy is a shame on us. You know, there's something in democracy called the firewall. It's a concept that has existed for a long time, especially since Hitler's time, specifically during World War II, after World War II, when the democracy formed again in Germany, they created what they call the firewall, where the major parties blacklist extremists. And that exists or existed in the United States as well. People like Marjorie Taylor Greene wouldn't be allowed in, basically. They wouldn't be, people would not cooperate with her. The organizations, the RNC, the DNC, and whoever else would not work with her. They wouldn't give her funding. They wouldn't endorse her. They wouldn't help her. And unfortunately, the firewall broke down in the United States in 2016 because that's exactly what happened with Donald Trump. The firewall is a concept that exists in democratic republics like ours, specifically to keep the extremists out. I know that people, don't like the establishment and stuff like that, but that's the firewall. It's a feature of healthy democracies that keeps extremists out. Unfortunately, our democracy has been co-opted by corporatists who want to do what's best for corporations now and are ignoring the workers completely. In a healthy democracy, that would never have happened, and progressives would be allowed to run without being blackballed. But people outside of the establishment, outside of the mainstream, started running and winning. And that's not just on the right, like Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's on the left as well. The firewall, quote unquote, for the corporatists broke down for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She won without the support of the establishment figures, basically. Unfortunately, we don't have a firewall in the United States anymore. If we did, Donald Trump never would have been allowed to run. Lindell would not be allowed to run, especially with a picture next to somebody like Lauren Witzke. Never would have been allowed to run. Anyway, absolutely insane. I honestly don't believe Republicans are going to win any elections for a generation. I believe that they are completely and totally fucked for the foreseeable future. But I guess time will tell, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Lindell. 210 to 247. Awesome. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4. I should really make a few more videos, but it's getting a little bit late. Let's just do one more video and see what we got. Let's see. So I finished Lindell. Close. Let's talk about the good liars and MAGA's absolute psychosis and ICE. Yeah. Yeah, this will work. Okay, good. Sorry, hold on. Dude, MAGA is completely off the rails.
Think Donald Trump.
I'm sorry. MAGA is completely off the rails right now. Listen to this. This is the good liars. They go around and interview MAGA people.
Committed any crimes with.
Let me just turn it down a bit. It's too loud. Step back.
Think Donald Trump committed any crimes with Jeffrey Epstein?
Obviously.
Donald Trump is not a crime-committing type person. He doesn't do that.
We live in another reality.
I've gotten to know him over the last several months, and he is honest.
Is he speaking to you in your dreams or something? What do you mean you got to know him over the last few months?
To a fault. He's absolutely honest. He will not break the law. He will not lie, and he will not break the law.
You don't think Donald Trump would lie?
No, he won't lie.
Really? Ever? You don't think he'd ever lie?
He has a very strong conviction about truth. He started a social media company called Truth Social.
Yeah, and that makes him truthful. His social media company, Truth Social, makes him truthful.
Right.
Jesus Christ, dude, these people are disconnected from reality. I'm telling you. The Twitch. I never pull up the Twit on air because you never know what kind of insane shit's going to pop up on there, seriously. I've just been like searching for, Trump stuff or whatever, and right there is a dick in my face. I don't know what's wrong with the Twit, but it didn't used to be like that. Hold on. I'm looking for, what's this?
He says, would you have lunch with me at my club?
No, that's not what I was looking for. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm just looking for, if you guys have never seen The Good Liars, they're actually really entertaining. Check some of this out. Look at their shorts.
ICE too lazy for a soldier, too stupid for a cop. What does that mean?
Oh, pretty much what it says. They really didn't make the grade for either type, but they want to cosplay, and they're really proud of their uniforms. They really like their uniforms. Nice shoes, Too bad they don't have the training to match.
ICE too lazy for...
Top tier shit. Love it.
You are dead if you are not a believer in Jesus Christ. That is life.
I could be wrong. I believe that the dude on the right is Jewish.
So if I'm Jewish, what should I do?
Well, you end up in hell. There's only one way into heaven. When you are a Christian, you believe in Jesus being the only way into heaven.
Okay, there you have it. We are here in Hialeah at the Trump rally, and I just found out that going to hell.
If you are dead.
This dude's so funny. I love these people.
Governor DeSantis, I want to present to you this participation trophy.
This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal.
He's special, he's unique, and he's our little snowflake.
That's so funny, dude. I forgot about that. They went up to Ron DeSantis and gave him a participation trophy. Hold on.
Food prices, gas prices, rent prices, mortgage prices, all those things need to start dropping so people can afford to live here again.
Are you a little bit worried about...
I think they're in New York City. I recognize that block.
About wealth inequality in this country?
Well, no, you make your money. There's no wealth inequality. You either work and earn money, or you don't work and you don't earn money.
There's no wealth inequality in the United States? How could he possibly say that with a straight face?
And unequal about that.
Do public school teachers not work that hard?
Absolutely they do, yeah.
They make very little money.
That's their problem. Food price.
These people are fucking broken, dude. I'm telling you. What is wrong with them? Seriously. Look at this one. I don't think this is a Good Liars. This is somebody else. We check this out.
If Jesus was here right now, would you let him in? Of course I would. Why?
As long as he went through the proper, as long as he
came here legally.
If Jesus were here right now, would you let him into the country? As long as he came here legally.
As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally, we would let him in. Gentlemen. Thank you. No, thank you.
That is a psychotic fucking thing to say. From a Christian, of all people, to say some shit like that. I'm telling you, man, like, there is something wrong with these people. No joke. They have been brainwashed upside down, backward, and forward. And the denazification process is going to be a long and arduous one.
We are here at the No Kings protest. A lot of scary people here.
We're so scary.
Yeah.
Scary as fuck.
Were you participating
She's got a sign that says love and kindness. That's funny.
The violence today?
Yeah. I kissed my girlfriend.
We are here.
That's the violence. She kissed her girlfriend.
We are here in Las Vegas at Flattoberfest, the Flat Earth Convention. Tell me about your hat.
This is just part of trying to bring awareness that the whole space agency, they're hoaxing you. We need to defund All
What
the
does
space
it say on it?
It's fake X. They're not going anywhere.
Fake X, not SpaceX, but fake X.
You're not going. Sorry, you're not going to the moon. You're not going to Mars. They might claim that they found something light years ago, and they're gonna put you to sleep and kiss your mother goodbye. You're gonna wake up in a new planet, and you're gonna wake. In actuality, you might wake up in an Epstein Island. They're gonna.
What the fuck? Dude, these people are so weird. You know he's a Republican. You know he is.
Take our best actor now.
What?
That's what's happening.
We are here, and you really don't like the mainstream media.
He's got a hat that says Ultra MAGA, I think.
Absolutely not.
What'd they do to you?
Do you work? They didn't do anything for me except lie, and they're screwing up the country big time. Now, which one do you work for?
I don't work for any of those.
Do you have an opportunity to stomp on their tallywhacker?
To do what?
Stomp on their tallywhacker? Do you know what
Dude, these people are so weird.
a tallywhacker is? Do you have one?
Like their penis?
Yeah.
So you really don't like the mainstream.
What the fuck, dude? These people are so strange, I swear. By the way, editing note, we can cut the ones that aren't particularly entertaining or relevant. Like maybe the Flat Earth one was funny, but maybe not relevant to this. We'll keep it to the MAGA ones if possible.
Which do you think are more dangerous, drag shows or guns to children?
Drag shows.
I swear to God, I thought that was a chick until he spoke. That's funny. Is it a chick? I can't tell what's going on here. Ultra MAGA.
How many people do you think have been killed at a drag show?
I don't know, but the long-term effects.
Is it a chick? I think it might be a chick.
I don't know, but the long-term effects are detrimental.
How many people do you think die every year from guns?
I have no idea.
48,000.
48,000? Okay. Well, there's probably 100,000 that die from drag shows.
Which do you think are more dangerous, drag shows?
Are you kidding me? Really? You've got to be joking with this. There are probably more that die from drag shows. I'm telling you, dude, we're in another reality.
What do you think about Democrats right now?
Very mean-spirited.
They actually should be hung or hanged or whatever.
The irony behind that juxtaposition is absolutely untouchable. They are mean-spirited. They should be hung. They have no idea why those two ideas clash, do they? These two people.
Very mean-spirited.
They actually should be hung or hanged or whatever, however you say it, because for treason of the United States.
You were saying that Democrats are mean-spirited? Yeah. And what were you saying should happen to the government officials?
I think they should all be hanged.
What do you think about...
They don't get it, do they? It's not like calculating in their mind, is it?
Could you read your shirt to me?
Oh, it's going to take a felon and a hillbilly to fix this.
And how important to you is law and order?
It is. It is. We've lost it in this country.
But the shirt says that it's going to take a felon to fix this. Does that feel ironic to you?
No.
There really isn't anything between those ears but air, is there?
Could you read your shirt to me?
Oh.
When you start late-term aborting children or aborting them after they've been born.
That's literally not happening. Not one single human being has suggested such a thing. That is completely and totally fake. It is made up. Get help.
That's nuts.
Aborting them after they've been born?
Yes.
You think that's happening?
It is.
Aborting children after they're born wouldn't be called abortion, though, right?
They still call it abortion.
What would they? That would be called murder.
Well, not according to the left.
Could I ask where you read it?
You see a lot of propaganda, and it's getting harder and harder with AI.
No fucking shit. A lot of propaganda, you say.
For you to be able to determine what's true and what's not.
I agree.
And it's going to get a lot harder.
Do you think that what you read could have been propaganda?
Not if you study the facts out.
Could I ask you where?
Not if you read more propaganda.
Where you read it, though?
See, I read a lot of stuff. When you start...
I read a lot of stuff, dude. These people are just gone. Their minds are just shot to shit. Anyway, tell what you think about it in the comments. It's entertaining as hell, but disturbing at the same time. Okay, I got to get out of here. Walls, he's not a dance clown. I don't understand the context, but I do appreciate the super chat. It's almost as if they needed a witness to cover up something. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time, okay? On Wednesday on my Unfiltered channel. All right, later, everybody.